Gannon, I hope and pray you come home so you can play Sonic. Love, Nolan.
I've compiled some of the prayers and thoughts that came in for Gannon on our YouTube channel. I hope that the family hears this and it gives them some sense of hope. And I wanted to let everybody know that we are all hoping and praying, and our hearts are totally invested in Gannon coming home safely.
This is Martha, also known as What Big Eyes from YouTube, calling to leave my thoughts and prayers for Gannon and his family. We hope for the best. We pray every day. We lift up the family and his sisters and just let them know how much we love and care. Okay? Goodbye.
Hi, I was given this number as a place to leave messages regarding Gannon, and just wanted to say we pray all the time. And if we could hug you, we would hug you. And we fear with you, and we have hope with you, and we have ups and downs, and we just believe in the good Lord and know that we care about you. And like I say, we would hug you if we could. God bless.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Danielle. Yes, I would love to say that my heart and my prayers just go out to the whole family of Gannon. Marie, you coming on and listening, joining in on the chat it's just wonderful to have you in here. My heart breaks for the whole family. He's such a beautiful young man, and we all of us are still concerned and hoping and praying every day that he will return safely, very quickly. The collectiveness of all of the power of prayers and good thoughts and good vibrations are going throughout the universe, and
and you can go ahead and say your prayers, your love, whatever you want to say to Gannon and his family in support of them.
You know, as I was telling you before I came on air, it really, I think every mother in the world out there that has a child, this really deeply touches them because there's so much, but there's just so much to the story. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. But it cuts us to the heart, to our bones. It's very chilling. So I do offer so many prayers to the family, to his mother, to his father, to his little sister, to his baby sister, to the immediate family that has, feeling hopeless. There's so many out there still praying and still wanting that one little piece of information, just something. And it's so hard to wait patiently. It is so hard to wait, but we have to wait. I feel because there's so much ongoing and so much that we don't even know about going on. So I just want to give the family some hope to know that there's so many of us out there praying for you, and we're anxiously waiting just as you are. Like I said, I just want to let the family know there are tons of people out there for the family, for Gannon, for the sweet boy to be found, and to be returned to where he needs to be. And God bless his family.
But it feels like Gannon's everyone's child in this situation. Like, it's just everybody wants Gannon home and Gannon safe, and it's so nice to hear y'all's thoughts and prayers.
We have Joni here, and she would like to offer some support and prayers to Gannon and his family.
I just want Gannon's family to know that I'm so sorry that this has happened, and I would do anything to take it away from them. I have two daughters that are about the same age, and we talk about Gannon, and we just pray, like I said, I have two daughters about the same age, and we include Gannon and his family in our prayers every single day. It's a parent's worst nightmare, and I would do anything to be able to take their pain and suffering away from them. I can't imagine. But
Me either.
everybody is thinking about this boy and praying so hard that he comes home safely. People know that this little boy still needs people to be looking for him, and his mom and dad need support. Yeah, I know we've all been praying for him and his family, and it's just time to bring him home. I don't know how they've done it for a month now. It's so hard for even us. I can't imagine for them. Like you say, it's on our mind, and for them, it's beyond that. And everybody has kept him, like in this channel, been so positive and prayed and just continued to do that.
Gannon deserves to be home, and his family deserves
Too much time. It's time for him to be home now.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for your prayers. And just keep it up. Keep it strong. I just wanted to call to offer my prayers, positive vibes towards the Stauch family.
Aw, thank you so much.
Them. You're more than welcome. There's nothing that I or anyone else can say that I'll relieve their worries or heartache. But just knowing there's people out there like myself and many others that just want to get in and back home and found. Just brought back to his father Al and his mother Landon. I know it came close to their hope.
Yeah.
Made the blue light Gannon home. Funny color for YouTube. And I just wanted to call and offer support and love and prayers for Gannon and his family. Everything that's going on is just makes my hands sweat thinking of this poor kid
I know.
without any answers, and nobody knows what's going on. I feel like it's been a very long 5 weeks.
It has. It definitely has.
This every day that I just keep saying to myself, okay, we'll find something out, or someone will, come home. And you never want to give up hope, you don't want to give up hope, especially in a situation like this and what's going on, and no one knows. Everybody's just keeping an eye out. I think as a whole world, we can keep hope. Hi, guys. I just wanted to say, from Pennsylvania, all of our love, heart, prayers, sympathy, and everything that we have in us as a family go to Gannon and his family. And everybody at Rural Mask, and thank you enough for everything that you guys have done. Be sure Gannon stays. My 9-year-old Dave, unfortunately, she understands why I call him. I mean, I don't let him know because I couldn't handle this and Al as the strongest. I've reached to message me and thank Dave. It really, people that aren't parent part, but you have thank you. Oh my God, let's go move that boulder.
Hey, hey everyone. We are live. Sorry for that. The video started lagging and I don't know why. But I did share a link down in the comments from my other YouTube account. You can click that link and you can view that video there. I have Amy with me tonight. Hey Amy.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Danielle.
How's everybody doing?
They're very active. That's good.
They are. I'd like to apologize if anybody heard me telling my kids to knock it off because they're out in the garage and decided to fire up the dirt bike and four-wheeler at 10 o'clock at night. So
Well, it's Saturday. Come on.
it's Saturday, but they can't drive them right now because it's dark. Hey, Jason.
Hey,
Jason. So we are a little early. This was scheduled for 10:05. We're just going to chit-chat for a few minutes before we get started and say hi to everybody. Hi, Audra. Hi, Jason. Glowing Ember, I love seeing you here. Hi, 1 Hour Dry Floors. Hey, Tracy L.
Sorry, I'm getting my 5-star notebook ready.
Your class notes. Class notes. Tracy L. They have not cleaned the dirt off the house. I have cleaned the dirt off the inside of the house. But let me tell you, walking up my sidewalk, even though it rained, there's still dirt and mud everywhere. They have shoes caked in mud. I have a mess, you guys. I have a mess. And my oldest son, their father brought him a new four-wheeler last night. So I feel like the mess is just going to get a little bit worse now, guys. Because now we have 2 four-wheelers and a dirt bike. And
well, there's one for you now.
That's what I said, but don't tell my ex-husband that because he'll come take it.
You can start your own little biker gang.
he'll totally come take that extra four-wheeler if he knows that I'm going to ride it. So we're not going to tell him that.
Shh, it's a secret.
It's a secret.
Hey, P.
Let's hope he doesn't listen to this one because he's been known to tune in.
Oh, rats.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Evelyn, yes. Maui girl, they found Evelyn Boswell last night. Oh, it's so sad. So sad. I do want to do a show on her. I want to make sure that I'm informed and I have verified facts and information before we come on here and discuss that one. But right now, thoughts and prayers are going out to Evelyn Boswell's family who did love her and did take care of her. I don't know any of the details. I know there's a lot going on with that case. And I do plan on getting caught up on the actual facts so I can do a show on it, perhaps. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Honeybee. It is
Honeybee.
It is heartbreaking. Soul for music. Yes, Car Guy. Jason, we have not thought about a spirit box yet. Not yet. Nope. Hey, Amanda Wallace. I don't understand how people can hurt kids, but...
No, me either. Hey, Irish.
Irish is here. Hey, Irish.
Yay.
We love our girl, Irish.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I've paid somewhat attention to the Evelyn case, but I think that the Gannon thing affected me so much emotionally. I couldn't handle another one. I don't know how law enforcement does it.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I think from what I saw, Casey, she was found on the property of her grandfather that reported her missing. And from what I'm seeing right now, I would have to agree with you that it's a setup. I would have to agree.
Yes, there is, Joe.
I totally get it, Soul for Music. I get it. Hold on one moment.
Oh. When you do that, I experience all kinds of emotions.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on over there? Oh, Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. He was told that he would regret
Mhm.
reporting her missing. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Um, it looks like I do want to go over a couple things before we get started on what we were going to talk about tonight. I want to show you the kind of stuff that is going on. I just have to get into my files really quick because, as you know, anybody that follows this channel can tell you I can be a little bit disorganized. So I'm sorry. I am, but that's just me. Coat of many colors. We do business with Tommy Sr. He's a great guy. Aw. If you'd like to reach out to me, I'd love to speak with you, Coat of Many Colors. I can drop my email below because I do plan on covering Evelyn's case, just if it's even to do, a factual live on what we do know, what is truth, what is fact, what is actually going on, and the series of events that unfolded over the past couple of weeks. I know the Real Massacre Talk team was watching it from the shadows. We were all watching and following it. We don't have a group on it, but we are all very aware of the case. Okay.
They have a lot to say about the case, so that could be
Yeah.
an interesting discussion.
Okay, I got to log out of my other YouTube account. I was commenting under one account. You guys are welcome to subscribe to that. There's nothing on there, but should something happen, because my channel has been stricken a couple times today, or not today, this week, you're welcome to subscribe to that channel just in case. I'm not saying you have to, but if something ever happens, it's always good to have a backup,
Absolutely.
I had to appeal 2 things this week. So,
No, dear.
mhm.
And Casey, you say law enforcement becomes desensitized to a lot of things. They have emotions, but they learn to control them. Yeah, I'm not at that point, and I'm not law enforcement either. But it's just the kids, those little babies. There's an age for me that is difficult for me.
Right.
It's just it is what it is. It's just who I am. It's when they're under 2, I can't. Oh, I have a really hard time.
Yeah, it's hard.
Sure, Renee, I can always count on you.
You don't even know, Tisha Renee. It's been insane. Like, come on, you guys. Go get something productive to do. It's a lot of work just doing this, let alone having to combat like trolls that hide in the shadows.
Or shoot the moon. Come on.
I know. I'm waiting for that one to pop up tonight. I'm waiting.
Come on.
I'm waiting.
Show yourself. I want to unmask him like a Scooby-Doo mystery.
Absolutely crazy. I promise I'm pulling up my files here.
Oh, you're fine.
Got a little sidetracked for a minute.
That's my fault.
No, not at all. Before we get into what we're going to talk about tonight, I just want to show you guys the kind of shit I deal with.
Anna Mata wants to know if there's been a peep out of Eden Springs and Kevin life.
Nope, but we have a peep out of somebody else.
Peep,
That's
peep.
what I was going to show you guys.
Wee-oo, peep, peep.
What? And yeah, this is the kind of stuff. I haven't approved her comment yet, so Cheryl Cashion, I hope you're listening, and I hope that you enjoy your 5 minutes of fame because you're going to get it here tonight. Your comment is not approved yet, but it will go on there so that everybody can go give you a piece of their mind, because I'm sure they will after they see it. Yeah. Let me make sure I'm doing this right here. Okay.
Chloe Ember. Let's lasso the gun that shoots the moon.
Yeah. Right. Isn't that picture of Gannon amazing? I love it. I really do. I love it. Okay. Let me zoom in so we can
Ooh.
all. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a manifesto.
It is. There's a couple. So this is what she had to say. From Cheryl, how would you say that name? Cashion?
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe that T touched that kid. I have a private investigator looking for G. That mother should stay out of the media and declare that boy dead because one, T loves those kids, and second, no mother would declare a child dead. So let me stop you right there, Cheryl. Landon didn't declare her son dead. Law enforcement did. The FBI did. Investigators did. And she doesn't need anyone's apologies. And me, I'm a mother. If that was my child, I would not declare him dead. And the lazy cops, I can't stand when people insult law enforcement. So this comment's really got me a little fired up here. The lazy cops are not doing their job right. I'm sure you know, sweetheart. And I will help T to prove her innocence. And every child goes missing. And our pervs out there, you cannot tell me any mother to declare their child dead till you see a body. And you know what happened to him. And who knows? who does this shit? I mean,
I don't know, but I'm keeping score. So far, you have 2 points and she has 0.
Oh, you got your 5-star out, I see.
I do.
Yeah. And who knows? Children do hide out at their friend's house. They would do that. And I don't believe he is not dead. And that mother would look for him. She did look for him, Cheryl. She did. I would go to the end of the earth to find him. She did. She never laid a hand on that child. The cops beg to differ. Second, I won't give up to find the truth. Well, if that's your job, sweetheart, you suck at it. And I'm going to prove her innocence. Good luck. And they have a lack of evidence. Okay. How can anybody say this stuff? How?
Because they're a T to the R to the O to the L to the L.
She's like right up there with Eden Springs, right?
Maybe they're in the same like Airbnb under a bridge somewhere.
They must be. And every child does get cut. The cops are lazy to do their jobs. I will not stand by and watch T sit in jail. Well, guess what? You're standing by and you're watching her sit in jail and she's in a turtle suit. I do have a private investigator keeping low out there. I'll be visiting with T soon. Well, let's hope she doesn't attack you. And that mother needs to stay out of the media because she is in the media and taking pictures of her and her daughter. If she wants to act like Kate McCann, Maddie McCann's mother, let her. Because she wanted her husband back.
Oh, Amy Ashley Byrne.
And I believe that T loved those kids. No, she didn't. And won't harm them. I don't believe that he is dead till I see that body. And I will search for answers. She doesn't need this apology from anyone. And it doesn't matter. Because, I got to get to the next one. Let me get to the next one.
Oh my gosh. You need a page turner.
Yeah. Maybe I don't have the next one. All I know is she pissed me off with this. Let's see. Oh, these are beauty. These are some more beauties that she posted. God, I'm just chilling there.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. Like no kid hides for 31 days in somebody's house without them knowing.
Right. And, law enforcement doesn't just say an 11-year-old boy is dead just because they feel like saying it. So he wouldn't go to jail for no one. And they denied, this is the best. They denied her rights to a lawyer. And you people want answers. It will take a while. I'll give you the answers since the mother is too busy already giving up on her boy. That is not a mother. No mother would declare no child dead. And they have lack of evidence against her. Nobody. So instead of being in the media posting pictures in the camera, she is being to act like another Kate McCann, Maddie McCann's mom. Those are not parents. If I would CPS, I would have taken those kids away.
No, she wouldn't have. She would have tokened those kids away.
Token.
Token.
Well, I don't believe that T touched that kid. I have a private investigator looking for G. That mother should stay out of the media and declare the boy dead. Because oh, that's the beginning of the first one. This is the
Right.
stuff. This is what these people do.
Ugh.
It's
Token
are you
everybody.
kidding me? She needs to go have a seat with Cabin Life at Eden Springs, and I'm sure they have a lot of shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So
It's always tea time.
I'm gonna approve her comments right this moment. I'm just gonna go ahead and approve them. We usually approve like 99.9% of comments. We don't filter people. So why filter her? Oh,
Good grief.
yeah. Yeah, this is.
It sounds like she knows the McCann case inside and out, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She must.
Amy Ashley said earlier, it sounds like it was written by T's English teacher.
So these comments were posted on the video titled Gannon Stauch crying about the burnt carpet. They're approved. There you go, Cheryl. You get your 5 minutes of fame. I hope you enjoy the backlash because you deserve it. That's how I feel at the moment. I have a hard time with anybody who comes on here or comes on a public platform and bashes two grieving parents.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has a right to defend T. Defend her all you want. But don't defend her with things that don't exist. Don't defend her by saying that the cops didn't do their job. Don't defend her by saying that the cops violated her rights to a lawyer. Don't defend her with lies and BS and things that have came out of her mouth because she's not an honest person. She proved that to us over the course of 5 weeks. She proved it over and over and over again in her trail of breadcrumbs that she left all over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Carla. Oh, she was all over the Court TV YouTube channel also? Good Lord.
Well, I'm sure she got through to the producers and, everybody's reevaluating.
Right. Right.
I mean, if you can dish it out, then you better be prepared to take it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we love you too, Carla.
So, Des is at Taco Bell. She just wants you to know.
Oh, I love Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. So, where are we to start tonight? Where should we start?
That's up to you. You're the boss. So many places.
I know. Brian, we're giving her some space and privacy at the moment. She's doing well, and we'll leave it at that. I guess we'll just go ahead and start on what we put together earlier, Amy.
Okay.
You can go ahead and start if you want.
Well, we started from the official statement from the El Paso Sheriff's Office. Do you want to go through that real quick, just so that everybody knows exactly what came from their mouths?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I will read it.
Okay.
I will tell you that there are, for everybody listening, there are like statute numbers attached. I won't be reading those because they don't really make they don't make any sense. So, statement from El Paso Sheriff's Office, March 2nd, 2020. On March 2nd, 2020, at approximately 8:04 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, El Paso County Sheriff's Office detectives, FBI agents, and members from the El Paso County 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office arrested Letitia Stauch, date of birth 8/4/1983, in Horry County, South Carolina. Letitia Stauch will be held at Horry County Jail on the charges of murder in the first degree, child under 12, position of trust, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a deceased human body, and tampering with physical evidence. She is awaiting extradition hearings before being transported to the El Paso County Jail in Colorado Springs. The investigation, I am so sorry. I'm not using my Mac. I'm using another computer and I'm struggling. Okay. The investigation into the disappearance of Gannon Stauch began on January 27th, 2020, when Letitia Stauch, who is Gannon's stepmother, called 911 to report Gannon had not returned from a friend's house. By January 28th, 2020, our major crime detectives assumed responsibility over the case and began working hand in hand with multiple partners. By January 30th, 2020, the case was upgraded from runaway to missing and endangered. Let me just down a little bit. I'm not going to read all the partners at the end here. Let's see. They ask you to report any tips you may have to aid law enforcement in recovering Gannon and helping bring his family closure to either 719-520-6666 or email tips at elpasooco.com. We'd like to thank the following agencies for their time, and they list them all. We've gone through those before, and their final statement is all investigative updates will come from the district attorney's office, and all search effort information will come from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. A mugshot of Stauch will be sent out once she has been formally booked. We would also like to thank the community and people from across the nation for your compassion, generosity, support, and patience, and let's continue to work together to find Gannon. So, Cheryl, I think it's fairly clear that some of your statements are incorrect. And that.
Oh boy. I mean, she, maybe she doesn't read.
Clearly she can't write. Sorry. I'm sorry. Wow, my filter. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. Okay. So
let's just, maybe Cheryl was using voice to text. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I will.
Okay, so you got down to the tips, right?
I got down to the tips. Yep.
Okay. Did you read all of the agencies involved?
I didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna just to give everybody a heads up how many agencies took part in this investigation and the extensive searches, investigating, forensics, crime scene processing, all of the above. El Paso County would like to thank the following agencies for their time, ongoing efforts, expertise, Cheryl, and help they provided and continue to provide for this investigation. Search partners. I don't know if I say this right, guys, so I'm sorry if I don't. Arapahoe County Sheriff. Arapahoe. That's okay.
Is how I heard it on the TV anyway. Sorry.
Okay. Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, Colorado Springs Fire Department, Colorado Springs Police Department, Douglas County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue, the FBI Evidence Response Team, Fountain Police Department, El Paso County Public Works, Emergency Incident Support, Flight for Life for searching purposes only, Fremont County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Pikes Peak Office of Emergency Management, Tri-Lakes Fire Department, the U.S. Army Multiple Unit Volunteers, the U.S. National Guard 100th Missile Defense Brigade Volunteers, investigation partners, the 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office, Colorado Springs Police Department, the FBI in Denver and South Carolina, Fountain Police Department, Horry County Sheriff's Department, Horry County Police Department, Myrtle Beach Police Department, the National Center for Exploited and Missing Children, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, also known as SLED. All investigative updates will come from the District Attorney's Office, and all search effort information will come from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. A mugshot of Stauch will be sent out once she has been formally booked. We've all since seen multiple mugshots of her because, she took it upon herself to attack deputies on her transport back to Colorado. We would also like to thank the community and people from across the nation for your compassion, generosity, support, and patience. Let's continue to work together to find Gannon. To date, El Paso County Sheriff's Office is still asking for tips and public help in finding Gannon. They want to bring him home to his family. So, anybody who questions the amount of work, effort, integrity, and diligence that was put into this investigation, I would highly suggest that you do your research. It's a good thing to be informed, and it's a good thing to know how much has went into finding Gannon Stauch over the last almost 6 weeks. Monday will be 6 weeks since he went missing.
Yeah. And just so Cheryl knows, I mean, the same way you use the internet to like post things like that, you can use the internet to research.
It's an amazing thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what you can find out. I agree, Anne. I agree with you. Let's see. I hope she comes here, Jason. I doubt that she will, because usually people like to leave these comments in the dark. They do it where you can see their comment, but your replies to them aren't instant. They're not real time, So she's welcome.
Well, they like to do it. They like to do it at 3:30 in the morning when they think nobody's looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh, I like that, Lisa. Don't let your alligator mouth overload your hummingbird ass. That's a good one.
Wow. I have never heard that before.
Me either. I'm gonna start using that, I think.
I'm having a Phoebe from Friends moment.
So, I guess just a recap on what has happened this week. As of yesterday, Al filed for divorce. Their first divorce hearing is scheduled for March 17th, 2020, which is St. Patrick's Day. Just to let everybody know, that will not be televised. That is family court. So it won't be televised like any of Tisha's criminal proceedings. And another thing I wanted to touch on, Judy Ron had a very good point in one of his lives yesterday, I believe it was, about Tisha's additional charges that she caught for attacking the deputy and trying to escape custody. While those are very, very serious charges, they are, and they're unacceptable. I was telling Amy earlier, I am a person, I 100% back the blue. I do. I support law enforcement. They have much respect from me. Unfortunately, in the grand scheme of things with Tisha, those charges are not going to really matter. They're not. When you look at what she's facing when it comes to the first-degree murder charge of a child under the age of 12 in a person of trust, and child abuse resulting in death, as well as tampering with a human corpse and tampering with evidence. Judy Ron was absolutely right when he said that her charges for assault on a police officer and trying to evade police custody is, oh my gosh, hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry.
No worries. I'll just look at the chat here. So you guys are saying some pretty funny stuff, and some like really good input too. Um, Tisha Renee says, "Can you imagine the stress Al is dealing with, moving, divorce, and most of all, his child was murdered? Excuse me, how awful it is. It's terrible." Anne says, "Of course we care and want to know, but I'll be okay with not hearing details. I want her prosecution to be airtight. Now I only care about Gannon being found. Hopefully she's in one of the coldest, darkest cells." That's where my focus is right now too. I just want the parents to have Gannon back, and I hope that Tisha does the right thing. Um, I think deep down somewhere, hopefully she has it in her to do that. Are you back? I hear you.
I am. I am. I told you guys that my husky was like a toddler, right? He he kind of pulled my couch cushion off and started eating the inside of it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyways, so as I was saying, those charges, like Duty Ron pointed out the other night, or yesterday actually it was, those charges are very minuscule in the grand scheme of what Tisha is facing. Very,
Right.
you know, they're, if anything, they'll run concurrently.
Hey,
Yeah.
though, I'm glad she got them because let's just say worst case scenario, something crazy happens.
Mhm.
Those will still be freestanding charges and she'll serve
They
time for them.
they will, absolutely. You're right.
So,
You're right.
I value that they're there.
If anything, yeah, if anything, that is a little bit of security and knowing that she is going to serve time.
Yes.
Regardless, she will serve time. I I like that Gil tea. That's cute. I like
Hold on.
woodiness and quirkiness.
I'm going to mute my microphone for a minute because I got to say goodnight. Okay.
Okay. So, in regards to the divorce proceedings, it's interesting to look at that because, Glowing Ember, my husky seems to think that they are nutritious too. He literally unzipped the cushion and started tearing the stuffing out. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'm not going to stress about it right now. Anyways, in regards to the divorce, that's cute too, Amanda.
Sorry.
It's fine. You're fine. The motivations for divorce are interesting. They're very interesting. Amy pointed a bunch out. If you want to talk about those, Amy, or I will. It's up to you.
Well, I'll just read them and then we can expand upon them. And there's more, and if you guys can think of them, I want to hear them because
Yes.
I think they're important. So, the motivations for divorce: financial protection. She will have limited financial. She, meaning Tisha, will have limited financial legal resources. Only her divorce settlement that protects Al from her legal debt and utilizing and/or exhausting marital finances. Obviously, because she's accused of killing his son. He is in a better position to testify against her in court. And it is a testament to Al not supporting T and cutting all ties with her since the charges.
Yes. Does anybody have any insight on that or any input?
Oh no, Danette, it's all, if you're replying to me, they're all good reasons. We're not defending anybody or anything.
Oh yeah. No. We're not defending him at all.
We're just discussing.
There's probably more reasons than what we came up with. That's what we were saying, is what other reasons do you guys think there is? It's very good, Danette. It's great. I give Al props because when you compare this to the Kyron Horman case, Kyron Horman's dad stood beside Terry Horman for quite a while. Al kicked Tisha to the curb within days.
Yeah.
And since then, I think it's interesting that he waited for her to be arrested and charged before he filed divorce.
Yeah.
I do think that was probably some advice that he was given by law enforcement and investigating agencies. Aw, thank you, Summer. Thank
Irish says so much for that sincere apology.
Yeah, Irish, you're right. You're right. She's not gonna get that apology from Al, I don't believe. How many times did she say that, you guys?
Oh, so many.
Coat of many colors. I said the same thing. I called it that as well. I called it Horry County, and I was corrected, and it's pronounced Horry County. I just, I
I mean,
didn't know
we
any
can
different.
call it Horry County if you want to.
I don't want to insult everyone else who lives there,
No,
and,
no.
but
I've heard all the nicknames for places now. Like, I think somebody said earlier in the chat it was Colorado, and then there's Horry County, and then what was the one I heard today? Instead of Myrtle Beach, Murder Beach.
oh my gosh. Because people are
People are
unfortunately
funny.
people like Tisha give the towns that they are in a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
They do. They do.
So
The divorce also allows, I just thought about this, Al to make some decisions for the rest of his life without having to consider her. So, luckily they were renting the house, but for other things, he won't, like the cars,
right. Right.
things like that. Yeah.
Right.
And it's interesting that got put on the court docket so quickly.
It did. I think he wants to fast track that stuff. I mean,
I think it's been ready to go for a while.
yeah, I think it was probably sitting there waiting, just waiting, Yes, actually, he can request that to Renee. He can absolutely request that she does not take his middle name or his middle name, his last name. You can make those requests. When I actually went through a divorce, I demanded to have my maiden name back. Just like the person that you are divorcing, the male spouse can request that his name be taken away from the female that he married. Where is his dog at? What are you talking about? He wants his dog back, Yvette.
Apparently they have a family dog, and Harley claims that it's her dog and he wants the dog, and as far as I know, these are hearsay rumors, but there's truth in a lot of stuff, so that's kind of in the buzz.
Okay. Aw, I just got a message. So a lot of people are joining our Facebook group, and that's an honor to us. I've seen some comments lately. Christina actually didn't just send this to me. I sent it back. It says, the Gannon Stauch case discussion Facebook group is great. It's ran by Danielle from Real Massacre Talk Team YouTube. They are also nice and respectful. They also have a team member who has been part of the search team searching for Gannon, and family members who partake in lives occasionally. Aw. It's great to see that, because we take pride in our Facebook groups. Even if this one is a smaller group, there's quality there. And we always, in everything that we do, we choose quality over quantity. And that's not to knock any other Facebook groups or any other admins or anything like that. We just really, really like to do the whole no drama thing.
Right.
And the whole, I even told people last night, I'm like, you guys are welcome to speculate. You're totally welcome to speculate in our group. We don't take that public. We don't. Because unless it's facts.
Right. So you can post things in the group. Don't be afraid. I mean, Danielle's very liberal and the admins are liberal with what you post. We just ask that you're kind to each other, and that you're not attacking other groups or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, if you find something and you want to post it for conversation or speculation or whatever, it's appreciated.
It very much is appreciated. We definitely encourage conversation. We just don't allow conversation about other YouTube creators, other Facebook group admins, or how they run their stuff, or that takes away from the case to begin with. And it's just disrespectful to gossip about other people.
Ooh,
Like,
Amanda just. Oh, go ahead.
no, what Amanda do?
Amanda brought up a good point. You remember Tisha in the interview, because we talked a lot about we have two cute little dogs. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
gonna say anything nice about Gannon, but I'll talk about my two cute little dogs. She said, I thought they had two. Right.
She did.
That was a good catch.
She did say that. And oh my gosh, do you hear my dogs? I'm so
I
sorry, you
do.
guys.
They're
So
part of the show.
yeah, they're part of the show. I think they like to be
Man.
part of the show because I swear to you, they lay around until I get on here. And then
Oh,
they're like kids. You know how when everything's calm and peaceful until you get a
yes.
phone call and then kids are like,
Yes.
"Hey mom, hey mom."
Yes.
So
Yes. They're like, I put slime in my nose and now I can't find it.
yes, yes.
No. Really?
Oh, you're okay, Jeanette. You're okay. You're all good. Oh, I love dogs too, Jenny Anderson. I do.
Rebecca said something. She said they have
Amanda.
two dogs. Harley has them both. Al asked her for one in the divorce, and Harley says it's hers. Okay. Well, we talked about this earlier. I'm not terribly comfortable. I don't think Danielle is either discussing a minor, but keep in mind that her whole world, we don't know what's going on regardless, but her whole world has been turned upside down.
It has.
So,
It
you
has.
know.
I'm not really comfortable discussing her just because we don't know. We don't know. She could be a victim. She very well may be a victim of her mother. And she's still under the age of 18, so it's a really, really fine line.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to drink a lot of liquid so I don't make any dry mouth noises.
You're fine.
Sorry. I have a sore throat too, so.
Oh. Oh gosh. You guys are cracking me up with your dog comments. Tracy L, you said your husky is a permanent 2-year-old. You know, I I wish you could see what my dog has done. I should take a picture. Stop it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
It doesn't help my snort, Amanda. It will come out.
oh, Iris, you're a riot.
Irish and Shannon could have their own comedy act.
They could. They
I'm
could.
telling you, they would make $1 billion.
So my husky right now, you said that your husky is a permanent 2-year-old. Mine is laying in the middle of my hardwood floor, surrounded by all the stuffing he ripped out of my couch. This is my life. This is what I have going on right now. Laying there looking at me, smiling, like, look at what I did, Mom. Look at what I did.
I
So,
know, they get so proud.
oh man.
I had a Chihuahua that ate through her dog bed. And when I came home, it was just like her head on the bed. Her body was like inside the stuffing. And she was like so proud of herself. She had like foam everywhere. She's just like, they're dogs, I swear.
You guys, my dogs are insane. They are wild. I love them, don't get me wrong. My dogs bring me a lot of comfort. A lot of
Dogs are the best.
oh my gosh,
Pets are the best.
I notice he has also gotten himself a pudding container. I can't deal with them. I can't.
Oh gosh. Maybe we should do this and we'll never show our faces. We'll just talk over the husky cam.
Yes. Yes.
Oh dear.
Okay, I'm back. So Glowing Ember said Harley can't take her dogs to boot camp, can she? I don't believe she can. But Becca has a good point by saying that maybe Harley is trying to hold on to cling to that dog because it's all she has left. I totally get it.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, my heart does go out to Harley. I don't know if I'll change those words in the future. I hope that I don't have to. But you got to think she's still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Still a kid, man. She's
Yeah. She's
Gannon
probably. Go ahead.
Gannon was her stepbrother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Al was her stepdad her whole life. From where she lived, where she worked, her enlistment into, was it the Air Force that was she was going to?
Mm-hmm.
ROTC
Yes.
program, I believe, or something.
She's like an Air Force cadet or something.
Yeah, it's all been put on hold, and we don't know. There's a lot of speculation about her, and you know, I fully support that we do have to speculate in true crime. We do. I just there's some lines that I draw, and I don't disrespect anybody else who does that, you know, on their channel. That's how they want to do things, and that's completely fine. I
Right.
just at this moment I'd like to maintain that Harley is a victim too. And Doodlebug, you have a good point. She was manipulated by T. We were
Well,
actually speaking about that.
yeah, I was just about to say I can't speak specifically for Harley, but we have somebody on our team that has a lot of knowledge about these kind of circumstances, I would say.
Mhm.
And I have a little bit, and it no matter, and I'm not speaking about Harley, okay, but no matter what a parent does to a child, no matter how awful it is, a child will still claim to love that parent in these situations. It's a cycle of abuse, and they get very angry when their parent is attacked, even if it's or held to task for the things that they've done.
Mhm.
Um, it's very hard to watch, but if a parent is taken to court for child abuse and that child is sitting there, that child can be angry that people are getting their parent in trouble
Right.
and act out in that way. So,
Yeah. I mean, Harley lost her father, her biological father,
mhm,
about 6 to 7 years ago. So, not only is her father dead, her mother is now in jail. Probably there's a good chance that her mother is going to spend the rest of her life in prison.
right.
That is pending a conviction. But what does she have left? It's sad.
Right.
It is sad. If I have to change my words, I have no problem doing that. Should some circumstances change within the investigation. But until then, I think it's fair to say that Harley is going through a lot. I don't believe she asked for any of this. I don't.
No, no. We're not responsible for the actions of our parents. We
That is
just
true.
aren't.
Well, we're not responsible for the actions of anybody but ourselves.
Right. Well, I was
Um,
going to go there too. I mean, if your child is, in trouble, or your sister is in trouble, you can, brothers, whatever it is, you
right,
can say all you want, but ultimately they made that decision.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'm just doing something in the settings here.
no worries. True Helper's here. He just ordered his shirt.
Hey,
That's
True
awesome.
Helper. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
And Coat of Many Colors, you asked me earlier if I thought Cheryl was going to get Tisha off. I hope she has a better public defender than Cheryl.
My gosh.
And I don't wish for much for Tisha, to be honest. I wish for a fair trial. I do wish for that. But other than that,
Absolutely. I wish for a fair trial too, but I really think that Cheryl and Eden Springs, who told me off a couple weeks ago. I think they need to go have some coffee together. They have a lot to talk about.
You mean tea?
Go have some tea.
I know what you're doing. Slow mode. We're in turtle soup mode.
Not too slow yet. Not too slow yet, but we're gonna. If I have to increase it, I will. I hate doing it, but I also hate missing your guys' comments, and
Me too.
I can only talk and read so fast. So I would much rather be able to address what everyone's saying in the chat than miss anything and have anybody think that I am ignoring them, because I'm totally not. Yeah, Becca, I think at this point it's very sad for Harley. So, with all of that said,
Real quick, Hybrid Pisces is asking how Harley's father died. Was it a car accident?
I've heard a couple different
Yeah.
things. I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I did. I don't believe it was a car accident, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, that's fine. I'll own it. I have no problem owning it.
Oh, no. I wouldn't say that with any confidence. It was just,
yeah. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that I know for a fact, but I did research to see if I could find any articles about a fatal car accident that occurred in the area that he died in during that time frame, and I found nothing. And there was also some comments across family members' pages at the time of his death. Nobody wanted to be public about what he died about.
Oh, okay.
There were comments that said, there were comments that said, "Oh, how did he die? What happened?" And it was if any of you have social media or Facebook, it was the infamous message me kind of replies. Message me and I'll tell you. We don't want it out there. I don't know what that means. I know what that leads me to believe. So yes, you just said it, Tisha Renee. That's what I believe. He has, I could totally be wrong though. I could totally be wrong with my intuition on that one and my thoughts on that one. Now they're gonna fight and play.
Carla D, we might touch on that tonight.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
We can talk about that. I thought it was interesting. So if anybody hasn't seen, Tisha's ex-boyfriend has appeared online and started making statements, and I actually reached out to him. I'd like to talk to him. One of the things I found interesting that he said that Tisha faked a pregnancy.
No.
And isn't that interesting that a couple weeks ago this was said?
Right. And she had like a fake sonogram.
Yes.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I also saw that he said that she was crazy. Just like, not like certifiable crazy, just not a healthy type of mentality, I don't believe. So I also, just to jump to this really, really quick, and I'm not going to stay on it, the shirts for Gannon, those are only being sold until 11:59 p.m. tonight, Mountain Standard Time. For those of you who are East Coast time, that will actually be 1:59 a.m. because at 2 a.m. there is a time change. There is a time change tonight. Don't forget to set your clocks forward, by the way.
Tracy L, no, she did not have a boyfriend currently. This was a past boyfriend before Al.
Yeah, I believe.
Apparently they all played softball together.
Yeah. From what I read, she was actually dating him when she started dating Al.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and it's Danette, Gannon's older stepsister. We were talking about her. So, did anybody have any other input on reasons or motivations for divorce on Al's part? I think we had financial protection that brings T limited financial resources for legal support. Only her divorce settlement. It also protects Al from her legal debt in utilizing exhausting marital expenses. Obviously, she's accused of killing his son. That's a huge motivation for divorce. Um, he is better able to testify against her in court. You do have the right when you are married to not testify against your partner, but you can also testify against your partner when you're married. That's just a right that you have.
You can't be forced.
Right. You can't be forced when you're married to somebody to testify against them. And it's a testament to Al not supporting T and cutting all ties with her since her charges were filed. That is a good point, Tisha Renee. He may want to file a lawsuit against her. I don't know what he would get from her because it seems all she has came from him. But he could file a civil suit, and every license plate that she makes in prison, those pennies will go to him. And I don't think it would be about money to begin with, anyways. It's more of a principle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Casey, me too, said I said so he can change beneficiary on insurance so she can't bump him off. That's a good point. And actually he can actually change that beneficiary even when they are still married. I
Right,
would
you can
I
change
would
it at any time.
yeah, I would actually assume that that's one of the things that he did over the
Yeah,
course of the last
you
5
don't need
weeks.
spousal permission to do that.
Right. Right. Absolutely. No, actually, Menville Gal, she has to go to court for all of this. They'll bring her to court in shackles from the courtroom. So, I mean, she can contest the divorce, but I don't think she's going to get very far doing that.
Even if she contests it, they'll, I don't know the laws in Colorado, but in some states, what they can do is like a separation type of deal where they start splitting the finances now. So it doesn't one can't take over the others. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it very correctly, but they can put some things in place where it's setting them up for being separate. Danielle, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh,
I just have to mute my mic for a couple seconds.
okay.
Sorry.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, Rebecca, that's what I mean. Like financially, I like again, I don't know how it works in Colorado, but in some states they start taking those measures even before the divorce is finalized. So she can contest it, but I'm sure Al will have some protection. Trina, I hope Landon goes to court with Al so she knows they are sticking together. Well,
Oh, I do too, actually. That's a good idea. I think I feel bad for Al. I really do. You know, he had to move out of his rental house we had to be out this weekend. I mean, his life has been turned upside down.
Yep.
In the last almost 6 weeks, and it's sad because Gannon is still not found. The home that he has his last memories with Gannon in, he's had to move out of. That's sad. That's sad.
Very sad. They're asking if she's on suicide watch. She was wearing the correct garments for that, so we can only assume that's a yes.
Yeah.
Casey, me too. Good point. Depending on the laws in that state, technically they've been separated since he returned from training and Gannon was missing. You know, I did say before, it's interesting that this case got on the docket so quickly, like 3/17. He probably had these papers filed somewhere, or he definitely had them ready to go. So, what?
Is it Gebri B?
Oh, I just saw it.
Did the cops ever return her $10,000 worth of jewelry? Well, to be specific, it was $10,000 worth of diamonds.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, hopefully Al has those because I don't believe anybody took her diamonds. If anybody took them, she probably took them and packed them when she took off to South Carolina. So,
well, then they found them during the cavity search. Good for them. They have them back again.
That's funny. That's funny. Have you guys been following the story of a TBI of teacher claiming to have a traumatic brain injury?
Are dropping little hints that she did and letting other people elaborate on it.
Right. I'm not really sure why he had to move. I think that may have been a choice. You know,
That was my understanding. I think that he definitely, it was inferred that he definitely wanted out of that house and never to live there again. And
right.
I would imagine with a landlord and the circumstances, and he needed to find another place to live, that, saying he had to be out by Friday, I don't believe that was the landlord.
No, I don't believe that was the landlord either. I
Because I
think
saw that the other night, like people were saying, "Oh, that landlord's horrible," and blah blah blah.
no,
And I don't think that's the situation.
no, I think Al spoke, probably told the landlord, "Hey, I just can't do it. I don't want
Right.
to be in this house. My son, is still
I'll have my
missing."
stuff out by Friday.
Right, I'll have my stuff out by Friday. So,
Yeah.
yeah, sweet crazy, that makes sense. You said you think he said he didn't want to stay one more night in the house, and I don't blame him. From as far as I know, he hadn't been staying in the house anyways. He
Right.
was staying in a hotel.
Yeah. Somebody asked that earlier about if the family was still living there, wouldn't that make it a crime scene? And I think that was a misunderstanding from the beginning, because it did appear for a couple days like they were living there, and I don't believe they were.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they were. Just think of what Al, not only is his and Landon's son presumed dead at this point. His body has still not been recovered. But let's talk about this for a second. That VW SUV, that was a lease.
Mm-hmm.
Al, I believe, carried the burden of all the bills in that home for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. You'd have to imagine that, looking at it from a financial aspect, T didn't have a job when they moved out there. So, in order to get financed for a vehicle, you have to have the income to back that financing. Now, we know that she was a substitute teacher from March of 2019 till November of 2019. A substitute teacher is not a solid source of income. That is hit and miss.
Right.
It's not a guaranteed monthly income. So you'd have to imagine that, not only has he had to pack up his house, probably put it all into storage, he's also got the burden of carrying this debt. This
Right.
this vehicle that has been seized by police, that he's probably got his name attached to. I'm assuming. I'm allowed to assume sometimes, by the way. I just want to put that out there. I'm assuming that he's attached to that lease financially, and he's got all these burdens. Now he's homeless, essentially. He's homeless.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if he rented another house, but still, his life has been flipped upside down, from his son being missing, not found yet, the financial disaster that she has created, that, this has created over the last almost 6 weeks. From having everything, packing up his house. I would assume he's been off work too. Who the hell could work? Who could work during this?
Mm-hmm.
I can't, and Mata, I could not imagine packing up those memories. I can't. Landon had said that they packed everything up and she just couldn't help because she just couldn't do it. So they packed all of Gannon's stuff up. It's just so sad. It's
She
so
kind of, yeah, and she kind of mentioned, like, we made him save everything, like nothing, like, yeah. It's, but the divorce also helps him, like, with when I was saying financial, it helps him make decisions about that leased car and things like that.
yeah.
It gives him a little bit more control over some of those things.
Hybrid Price Pisces said, "Can I just say that my very humble opinion, the fact that the kid was shipped off to Colorado away from his mom when his father wasn't even there is a family court failure." So I can expand on this a little bit. Um, Gannon he was out in South Carolina with Landon until January 7th. The day he went missing, he had only been home for 20 days. And prior to him going home, I'm not going to share the details of it, but he wanted to stay with Landon. Him and Lena both wanted to stay with Landon, and Al was okay with that. But unfortunately, it wasn't something that was
The timing was wrong.
the timing was wrong. Yeah, the timing was
Mhm.
wrong, and it's nothing that Landon did. Nothing
Mhm.
that Lena did. Landon wanted her kids there with her. It's just things couldn't get worked out that quick. So he had to go back to Colorado. As far as the family courts go, I know that Albert and Landon were working together and trying to do what was best for their children. So it's just sad. It's just sad. Eyes are blue. Why did they move to Colorado? Al took a transfer to Alaska, and then he took a transfer to Colorado from Alaska. My understanding is that there were limited number of places. When he requested a transfer, you are given, certain locations that you can go to. Colorado was the closest in relation to South Carolina from where he was at in Alaska that was available. I agree with you 100%, Tisha Renee. Absolutely. That fires me up, actually. I'll be 100% honest with you. That is something that makes me angry. The
Yeah.
schools who failed doing the background checks. I am actually going to look into getting that White House petition started tonight because it is something that needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah, I mean, they background check the people that check your luggage in the airport.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Connie, the school stuff in this case is really weird. Believe me, when it was all being researched and coming unfolded, it was just one like holy, you know what, after another.
Oh, I'm glad you'll be there to sign it, Danette. I'm going to look into doing it tonight later. I agree with you, hybrid Pisces. The family court is a clusterfuck. It is.
Yeah.
There has to be a better system that meets needs of children rather than parents. Thanks for explaining, Danielle. I mean, I know what I've been through personally in family court, having 2 children with, somebody that I am divorced from. And there's a lot of things that they do not take seriously that they should. And it's very alarming. Very
I'm
alarming.
going to just keep my mouth closed on this one because,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
they overlook a lot. And I don't think it's just one particular jurisdiction. I think this is something nationwide because I know people who fought or who have had problems in many other states besides the state that I'm in.
Right.
I
I
per
can.
I personally, if I were to tell you guys the number of court orders I have had to put in place for the protection of my own children, you'd be flabbergasted because instead of doing anything about it, they just slap another court order in there. Those are just words. They're words.
I can tell you that we've dealt with schools, two custodial parents, 50-50, right? And schools allowing one parent to withdraw a child from a school without notifying the other parent.
It's ridiculous.
That should not, it just shouldn't be. And the school system's response is that's between the parents. That's not for us to get involved in.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
Imagine just finding out, like, you go to pick your kid from school and they don't go there anymore.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, or imagine going to family court. I'm not going to put all my business out there.
Right.
But imagine going to family court, as I have, for the best interest of your children to protect them against things that have been brought to your attention. And instead of the family courts protecting the children, they do things like, okay, well, we'll just add this clause to your custody agreement. That's great. That's great. Thanks for putting that clause in there, but that doesn't stop the actions.
Right.
It doesn't. It's words. It's like a restraining order. Restraining orders are great. Don't get me wrong. They're great. But at the end of the day, if somebody wants to do something bad,
Right.
a piece of paper or a clause within a custody agreement is not going to stop them. There
Right.
needs to be more proactive measures, and people need to be held accountable
I was
because
just about to say it's about accountability, because just adding that to something, and then in that court system, those things don't add up, where like finally a judge says, okay, well, we added this clause and this clause and this clause because you did this. They don't do that, because
right.
you pointed this out to me the other night. Those clauses apply to both parents.
Yes, they do. Anytime,
So
anytime I have went back to court because I filed a complaint, and I'm a really laid back person. Don't get me wrong. I'm raising boys. I have to be laid back, but I have standards to how I raise my children. I don't want this, or this around my children. Bottom line, I am trying to raise my boys and to be good, productive members of society who grow up to be good men. So when I see something happening by another parent, the other parent, that completely makes that it just unacceptable behavior on his part, and you go to court and they put these court orders in place and they apply it to both parties. I told Amy the other night, I'm like, if people were to ever look at my custody agreement, they would be like, wow.
what
If you
did you
don't
do?
Right. But that's
Yeah.
how they do it. They apply it. If one parent can't do it, the other
Mhm.
can't do it either. And I have no problem with that because I've never did this stuff. So, but it is applied to both parents.
Right.
Hybrid Pisces, you forego child support to avoid my ex having legal access. Family court cannot protect my kids like I can. Here they're two separate issues. Two
Yeah, they are
separate
here
issues.
too.
Um, Thankfully my children are getting older. You know, they don't leave much besides to go to friends or girlfriends, or they are in my care every night. They sleep at our home every night. I don't have to really worry about what I did in the past because they're growing up, which is sad. But at the same time, at least I protected them when they needed to be protected. And I mean, there was a time that I said, you know what? You take me to court, buddy. Let's go because I'm done with this. I'm done. These are kids. There's a right way to raise them and there's a wrong way. Nobody's perfect when it comes to parenting, but there are things that should not be done around children.
Agreed.
Did she get her diamonds? Yeah, it is like a slap on the wrist, Becca. Aw, thank you, Des. Thank you. Did she get her diamonds back to go with her new outfit? Oh boy. You know? Let her bling bling it up in jail.
Right.
Aw, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Um, yes, Manda Gannon is bringing awareness to so many issues. Our hero. He is. He's opened my eyes to a lot of things, and he's made me as a person be able to say, you know what, this is wrong. This is wrong. This needs fixed. And if anything, let us all learn from the things that happened in Gannon's case, starting at the moment he went missing
Mm-hmm.
and he was reported as a runaway for 72 hours.
It's he like the shirts say and his mother say he is our hero, but how sad that he had to.
Oh, true helper, I love you. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I'm trying to follow everything you guys are saying. Oh, she says like a Gavin above your head. He looks so dang cute. He does.
Isn't that it turned out cute on the live tonight,
Yeah.
how our pictures are there and he's right above there. That turned out cute.
Yeah, it did.
Um, if anything, what I've learned from Gannon's case is I have met some amazing people. I have True Helper being one of them.
Yeah.
He is somebody I will most likely have a lifelong friendship with, and I'm grateful for that. This case has brought a lot of us together. Gannon has brought many of us together, and that's something Gannon would be happy about.
Yes.
He would be happy to know that he has brought complete strangers together, because
Yeah.
I can personally say that this case has touched a lot of people on a really deep level. A
Mm-hmm.
really deep level. So,
Right. And I've had very deep emotional conversations about him with people that, for all intents and purposes, at that time were strangers.
right.
And now they're my friends.
Yes, yes. And
We're bonded.
it has brought even the Real Massacre Talk team closer
Yeah,
together.
very, very
It
much.
has very much solidified this team
Mm-hmm.
from, myself, Amy, Joe, Christina, and everybody else. I'm not gonna put their names out there because they're not in the chat. But we have a great team, you guys, and
We do.
we
And
have
with the moderators too.
our moderators are part of our team. Manda and Doodlebug, Irish, Mignon, Shannon. Um, we've all
Summer.
Summer,
Yes.
yeah, Summer. We've all just been brought together by this, and Gannon has touched us all deeply, very deeply. So,
You know what? I don't know how to say your name. Is it Gebri B? Nobody can dim Gannon's light. She doesn't have that power.
right. Yeah, she can't. If anything, Gannon is brighter now than he ever was.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he wasn't bright in life, because I truly believe it when his parents talk about him and say that he was happy and he loved to laugh and make people laugh and love people. He was a very, very bright light in this world. And unfortunately, his life has been snuffed out, but his light, it's going to shine bright and it's going to shine on forever.
Mm-hmm.
He's left a legacy. At 11 years old, he's left a legacy, and that is more than what some 50-year-old people can say that they've done with their lives.
Absolutely.
Tanya Baker, I don't know that anybody ratted her out. I think that there was a serious investigation that took place, an intensive investigation that took place. There were multiple extensive searches of a specific area that were productive. Um, from pulling things like cell records and GPS and text messages and surveillance cameras at stores and on roads and neighbors' surveillance cameras. Everything, it was a cumulative process. So I wouldn't say that I'm not even comfortable saying that, because I don't believe that. I do not believe that anybody ratted her out. I believe that she left a trail and she thought she wouldn't get caught. Are you there, Amy? I don't know what happened to Amy, but can you guys still hear me? Okay. Amy's gone for a minute. She'll be back. I'm going to drop her a new link. So, guys, sorry, you just get me for a moment. Okay, you can hear me. Here's a new link for you, Amy. Let me. We're going to discuss this TBI issue. I'm going to wait for Amy to get back because it's pretty extensive and it's something that's being painted across social media. But before that, I want to discuss a couple other things. Beginning with, and Amy's back. So,
Sorry about that.
Amy
I got
pointed this out
snatched
today.
up. What?
You're okay. You pointed this out today, and it applies to more than just Gannon's case. But we were looking for valuable information, and we did get very frustrated. We did when it came to multiple things that occurred during Gannon's case and Gannon's case in general. And a lot of these things were right under our noses. It's interesting. It's interesting when you go back and you look at things such as the statements that Tisha has made. So what are some of the statements that Tisha has made that she can be held legally accountable for?
You want to go through that right now?
Yeah, we can go through that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, the three things that I can list off the top of my head that aren't specific statements but are contained within that would be her interview with the press when she has her back to the camera, because those are her own words.
Right.
Her statement released to the press, and her crime online article, as long as we know that that was done with audio, and her video that she said she accidentally recorded.
Yes.
And we talked today about how Facebook messages, text messages, emails, and stuff like that, there is a reasonable doubt that can be created because you can't prove who's behind the keyboard. Even if it's on their phone and everything else, you still can't. You have to physically put somebody there. And Tisha, even though we sometimes say, she sounds so dumb or whatever, she's pretty smart because she was using family members' accounts and she was using other electronic devices. And so she could easily say, hey, if I did that on, let's say, this is not specific, but let's just say my best friend Sarah's Facebook account, why couldn't Sarah do that on mine?
Right.
Prove it.
Right.
So when we talk about things that came directly from her, we have very few. But they do contain a lot of information.
Right. They do. They contain a lot of information.
You just have to look. And like Danielle said today, there actually, was it last night we were on the phone forever looking for something? Yeah. And then it wasn't that thing that we were looking for, but there's another mission that we've been on, and we've been up against a wall. And today, like out of nowhere, it was like this one little thing, and it had been sitting there for 3 weeks, staring us in the face. Just, you have to constantly rethink about interactions, about conversations, about transactions. And it's, what did I say today to you? Like, something like, the truth is always there. You just have to think about where to look for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it was exciting.
Thank you so much, Jessica Turner. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Amy actually found some information today, um, not related to Gannon's case at all,
Mm-mm.
but some information that her and I had both been looking for, and it was right under, right there, and it was just something that neither she thought about or I thought about.
Mm-mm.
So, you can apply this to Tisha's case. Let's, go back and look at her statements, you guys. Go back. And the one that sticks out to me the most that says, this was not some accident, or this was not some tragedy. It was an accident. And then
Mm-hmm.
her statements like, Gannon had a series of silly accidents over a few days. It's
Mm-hmm.
she was trying to create her defense right in front of our faces.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I was highly scrutinized for being very vocal about my opinion about her, that's okay because, I didn't just base an opinion off of wanting to crucify somebody. I didn't just base my opinion off of wanting to speculate and say somebody was guilty of something. I
Right.
didn't. I looked at multiple, multiple, multiple things along with having multiple inside sources on this case. Um, there's a lot. There's so many things that she said and she did. And combining that with the things that I was learning behind the scenes,
Yeah.
I couldn't ignore it, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it, and it's not about being right or wrong at all. I said before, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong. I hope he's coming home, and that didn't happen, and it's sad, but, this woman said a lot of things, you guys.
She did, and she laid the groundwork for everything that was about to unfold. So she was curious, or not curious. She was concerned about blood being found in the house and specifically the garage. So first we learned that Gannon cut his foot, but then we learned that Al may have like severed his thumb or something like that in there, woodworking. And
Mhm.
then she places them in there together. They were building me a present.
Right,
And then she says it again. Oh, it was crazy. When Al, cut his thumb, like some of that blood got on the 2x4. And
right,
then, it's funny when Gannon cut his foot, some of that stuff got on the wood. And oh, it's funny. We use our truck to move wood that we are discarding all the time. So she could explain a bloody board
right,
falling out. I mean,
right,
she's telling you what's going on because she can't keep it to herself.
right. Absolutely. It's, she told a story. She did, and we need to piece it together. It would be interesting to try to piece it together with all of you.
Mm-hmm.
It really would. Oops.
Oh, Misty, that's nice to hear because that's the situation I'm in. So I'm glad you found somebody.
Oh, I missed it. I missed it. Let's see.
He said, my wife became an instant mom to my 3 children when we met. She raised my now 5 children as if they were all hers. I never once have doubted her capabilities. Al was betrayed beyond understanding. Yeah, he was. It was the ultimate betrayal.
Right. Right. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much. You guys, I appreciate you so much. I truly do. Um, I'm going to share a link down here.
Oh, wow. 10 years. Congratulations.
Okay. Um, Sorry about that, guys.
I'll still be your ghoul friend.
That is a good point, CRLBN. Even in posting in this thread, your phone, your MAC address, your IP address is on record because your MTC is on record with your wireless provider. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, you guys are so kind to each other.
You are. I love our chat. Are you on your back deck, Amy? Are you on your back patio?
Yeah. Well, actually, I just had to come inside for a second because it's getting cold.
Yeah.
It's getting cold. And
Yeah.
we had, tonight while I was cooking dinner, I kept hearing like dripping water and with like kids and pools and stuff. I'm like, everybody's alive. It looks good. And then I opened up the sink underneath and the pipe had broke and water came out all over my kitchen floor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's not going to be fixed till tomorrow, which is why I told you I needed coffee and chocolate.
Aww.
So I'm going to have to do my dishes from dinner in the laundry sink tonight.
Right.
Which is very exciting.
Right.
Mhm.
Another thing that she stated, yeah, True Helper's welcome to come on if he wants to, Becca. Just let me know, True Helper. Another thing Letitia stated, and this is a direct quote from my favorite media affiliate, Fox 31. They're at the top of my list. Letitia Stauch said she last saw 11-year-old Gannon between 3:15 and 4:15 or 4 p.m. on January 27th, heading to a friend's home in their suburban El Paso County neighborhood. It's just, you can't tell lies. I think I said this pretty early on in this case. What's done in the dark will always come to light. And you can't say things. No, my dog isn't whining. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. I don't hear him whining though.
There is a little whistling noise. I just banged something. There is a little whistling noise. But
Maybe it's my mic. I need a new one. Let's see if that helps. Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So you can't say things happened when they didn't happen. And I mean, I guess you could say that they happened, but the truth comes out. The truth always comes out. She reported him as a runaway, but she said that he left to go to a friend's house. That's contradictory right there.
Right.
She also said that Saturday night, and that would have been February 25th, that Gannon was helping me unload in the garage and cut his foot because there are a lot of tools because Al does woodworking. Right there, that right there is painting the defense for blood being found.
Right.
He sat on the edge of the car and we bandaged it up. He was good to go. He always loves helping his dad in the garage build things like his Lego tables and the flower pot they built for me as a gift. After this, I noticed G kept going to the side of the house. So again, you have Gannon being injured, which brings blood. And then for some reason, she took that and she ran with it and said, I noticed G kept going to the side of the house. You have to wonder why she wanted to put Gannon in in the location of going to the side of the house. Why?
Right. Because she wanted, yeah, that doesn't.
He is snoring. He is snoring soulful music. That might be what you're hearing. Yeah, Becca, I tend to be a little sarcastic. Sorry. I'm glad you guys can pick up on it, though.
I'm not sarcastic at all.
Not at all, right?
No. Mm-mm. No. Yeah, I'm still confused. The gate works in there some way. I'm not sure what. And if it doesn't work in logistically for her defense, then it works in with her pretending to show some pride in him, like, oh, our little man held the key to the gate, he was so like that, like
Right.
trying to, because you got to remember, like, it appears to me that she's not very maternal. She mimics what she thinks is maternal. There's a difference,
Right.
and it never comes out of her mouth authentically, even
Right.
when she's talking to her own child on camera.
Right. Yeah, it's very, very disturbing, just her whole demeanor. And then she, like you had said, Letitia directly said, he told me he was checking to see if the gate was locked because he was the only one with the gate key. It made him proud to be the man of the house while Albert was away. Fast forward, we did a hike on Sunday, cleared, and shopping on Monday, cleared as
Wait,
well.
can we just stop? Cleared.
Cleared, yeah. She cleared
Up until
herself
this
publicly.
point, up until this point, I'm good. I haven't hurt anybody. I haven't killed anybody. I haven't. Yeah.
Right.
Cleared.
Right.
Sorry. It's just so flippant.
I know. I think it's my mic, you guys. It might be my mic. I need a new one. I can mute myself and go grab another mic really quick. But from one of my boys. And then she said, and shopping on Monday cleared as well for him getting out of the other side. Are you
She
kidding
cleared
me?
herself. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's,
I'll be back in
I
1
dare say,
second.
smart at the same time. Okay. Okay. I'm going to look at the chat while she's gone. Yeah, and Mata, I've always had a problem with that too. He has, intestinal or digestive issues, and he has a hurt foot, but what a great day for a hike. Let's go. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me too. I think some people are hearing a little bit of a whistle, and she just doesn't. She wants to fix that. So China Cat Sunflower, we will put that in the put that down in the chat for you, or if one of the mods can grab it. I can't do it right now. When Danielle's back, I could do it. Thank you, Doodlebug. Thank you. Yeah. Well, actually, Des Harris, I think we all look at her like a moron, but when you look at this objectively, and you try to separate all the emotion out of it, and you're just looking at facts, it could be said that she's very, very smart and very, very calculating. She has laid a lot of groundwork for all the things that she's being put to task for right now. So, yep. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's been a crazy week for YouTube strikes. Timber Elm. Hold on, let me scroll back for a second. Did anyone go over again why she was taking pictures of Ring cameras or when she was taking pictures? I honestly don't know anything about that. So we'll ask Danielle when she comes back, or if somebody in the chat knows something, but I can't speak about that at all. I know I saw some things online, but they weren't specific to that. And I can't repeat them because I don't know if they're true or not. Oh, Sulfur Music. I agree with you 100%, but I don't think that, I think in the end, evil won't win. It's sad that Gannon paid the price, but I personally will stand here and do anything so that doesn't win. Okay. Amanda Texas Gal says there's been speculation it was her, but that's not been confirmed. That's kind of how that's where I kind of stood with that too. Glowing Emperor. You're funny. Okay, Casey Me Too says he didn't return in the truck. He could have been in the back of it. No cameras in the backyards. Blood evidence may have been found or even signs of decomp, and that's how they got the tamper charges. Yeah, it's possible. I will tell you, I mean, you know, there's some rumors and some screenshots going around on Facebook right now. And when Tisha did the Crime Online articles or the interviews, she was talking about, I want you to remember this, she's talking about things flying out the back of the truck. And she's also talking about how she loaded up the back of the truck. She loaded up the back of the truck with sports equipment to take it to return to Play It Again Sports. And then she adds, because Gannon hadn't shown any interest in anything except for, such and such, and acting like she was trying to support his new interests. That statement, in my opinion, was not about Gannon and his interests. It was about, if you find any missing sports equipment with my fingerprints on it, well, of course you did. It was in the back of my truck, and I just told you things fly out of it all the time. That's just my opinion. So
You got to make sure that you say that's your opinion now.
it is my opinion.
I know, I'm joking with you.
It's my opinion. I'm down with OPP, my opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Another thing she said is, please don't think for a second that there isn't enough technology to determine shadows and movement around the truck. There was also proof from my phone that we had taken a selfie in the truck in our driveway. That was time stamped. We always sent pictures to Albert.
So she forgot her phone that day, and then she ran back in the house and left Gannon in the truck and said, "Oh, we got to take a selfie in the truck." Or they took a selfie in the truck, and then she ran back in the house with her phone and forgot it inside.
Mm-hmm.
While she was loading up sports equipment that may fly out later. Yeah.
Doodlebug. T is for turtle shell.
I'm sure T can stand for a lot of things.
Oh boy. I love making acronyms for stuff. I do.
Don't. Because I do too.
Yeah. So, Tisha, I'm sorry that you can't listen to this, but I have to agree with you when you say, please don't think think for a second that there isn't enough technology to determine everything that happened. Because look at where you are now. I think she got that shadow idea from the whole Chris Watts case.
I do too. We
know that she was in multiple true crime groups before. They are, Amanda, aren't they? They can be hilarious too. She was in multiple. I don't even know what I was saying. Oh gosh.
That's okay. Everybody's allowed their voice, including the Huskies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she was in multiple true crime groups. Multiple that she removed herself from right when this case broke.
Right.
So that whole shadow comment, I just come back to Chris Watts. I'm like, come on, which YouTube channel do you watch? What YouTube videos have you watched? How far have you followed the Chris Watts case?
Well, not only that, anytime that people were questioning the video, the driveway video, the Xfinity footage, they started talking about Chris Watts, and she may or may not have ran with that too. Either way, however it came to fruition, she definitely grabbed that up and ran.
Right. she did. Guilty of sin. Huskies are crazy, Musty. They're the best dogs ever. I love them. They're fighting back. They're not fighting. They're playing, but it can sound vicious sometimes. But they're just playing.
They're like roughhousing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tisha Renee. That's my point, and I believe is that she was setting up and making sure her defense was documented from the get-go. That's why when people, she doesn't speak very well at all. She does not come across to the public as likable. But that doesn't mean that she's not smart. And a lot of that is like street smart, manipulation, plotting. Have I left any other really nice complimentary words about her out? Calculating, cunning,
grandiose.
Yeah,
lying,
above the law, delusions of self-grandeur. She does believe she's smarter than everybody else. And that kind of brings us to another point that we were going to talk about. I kind of feel like it fits in right now, but the 3-part series she did with Crime Online. Do you want to discuss that, Danielle, and about the timing of it?
Yeah. Actually, what's interesting,
that would fit in really well right now.
It is really interesting. And I apologize if there's any mic issues on my end.
There's not.
It's interesting that, so the 3-part Crime Online interview started coming out right when her arrest warrant was issued on February 28th. And I do not doubt for a second that Crime Online got that interview and they turned it over to police. It may actually play a significant role in her arrest because I do believe that she said things in that interview that were not made public to her, that were not made public to the family as far as the investigation. And if you notice, the third part of that interview came out after her arrest, and that is when she spoke in that interview about the sock with the wood. So I do believe all of that was turned over to law enforcement investigators, the FBI or whatever, and they looked at that and said, holy shit.
Or finally she slipped up.
She slipped up. Yep, she slipped up.
And not only that, I think it's important to point out that we only know the part of the interview that's been released to us.
Right.
We don't know that she didn't say other things to them.
Right.
That we don't know. Uh-oh. There's another dog in the house.
True helpers here.
Rough.
Hello there.
Well, hello. How is everybody?
Oh, look. It's like, let's see. Now I can't remember the names. You're Daphne, I'm Velma, and he's Scooby.
Well, if I'm Scooby, I need them Scooby snacks.
You're funny. Too funny. How are you tonight, True Helper?
I am well, thank you. I just barely caught, I think, the Gannon, oh gosh, what is it? The Iron Apparel Gannon series ends pretty soon, so I was in a rush because I got an email saying that my order was incomplete, and I was thinking, what? But I made it in time.
Did you?
I made it. Yeah, that's kind of
I'm glad you made it to get a hoodie, but that's not probably going to happen by the end of the night. Hopefully they run another sale. Maybe they'll do another one after this one's, they get caught up from this one.
Mm, mm.
So,
Yeah.
I did get a shirt
You know what
though. I got a shirt,
they,
and
you know what they say? Good things happen to good people. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah. This company is amazing. What they're doing with this, I'm dropping a link for Amy. Sorry, I'm like one of those people that can't walk and talk at the same time. So when
Yeah, I
I when
have
I
that issue with
when
walking and
I
chewing
drop a
gum.
link, yeah, I gotta. My mind stops when I have to drop a link. But what this company is doing, Iron Apparel, what they've done for Gannon and his family is amazing. And I think it's great when people are able to buy something in honor of, a victim, and those proceeds go to a family. It's like a win-win situation. Like you're donating, but you're getting something back to remember him by. I think it's a
Mhm.
great thing.
I agree. And I know that's a very selfless act of them to do because I spread the word around one of my groups, a sponsorship group. So I know for a fact they had 70 orders just from them alone.
That is
So,
amazing.
and that is
Amazing.
definitely good for the family, no doubt. And we give a huge shout out to Iron Apparel. And not to mention, they have some pretty
Yes.
good looking gear. I've seen a lot
They
of
do.
manufacturers. Yeah, very sharp
Yes,
stuff
they
they have.
do.
Yeah.
So that campaign for Gannon does end at 11:59 Mountain Standard Time tonight. Like I said earlier, anybody on the East Coast or on Eastern Time Zone, remember that you will be affected by that with the time change.
And it's daylight savings time too. I believe we turn our clocks back tonight.
Yep,
Right.
that's what I was saying, is that the time change will affect anybody in
Oh,
Eastern Time Zone, Eastern Standard, because because the time changes at 2 a.m. and at 2 a.m. it's still midnight in Colorado, but at 2 a.m. it's really going to be 3 a.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. Oh my gosh, do you hear that? He sounds like a wild horse running through my house.
You have a miniature donkey.
Yeah.
he
Yes.
sounds like mine.
Yeah, he's a wild one. Yeah, 1 hour ahead, Soul Invictus. So just make sure that you get your orders in if you want to order. Okay, Joe, I think that yeah. I'm like one of those people, when you take your toddlers out and they misbehave. I feel like that on live because I'm like, oh, my dogs are misbehaving again.
My kids never like physically do anything to each other unless I'm on the phone. And then you'll hear something in the background like, he's chasing me with a knife. And I'm like, oh my God. What is going on?
Too funny. Too funny.
Yeah.
So,
We knew better than to do that with my mom. I tell you what, if she even thought for a moment we were doing something bad, you would see a shoe come somehow around a corner and smack you upside the head, boomerang back to her hand, and say, "Do you want some more?" So yeah, we didn't act up. She was a ninja with her discipline.
Becca, that is amazing. As of yesterday, the company making the apparel for Gannon has raised $9,000, and she said she is confident in saying that I bet they have doubled that in the last 24 hours. That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Welcome to Real Massacre Talk in the Husky Bus. Isn't that true, Amanda?
I love that. I love the Husky bus. I love it.
The
Oh,
Husky's the mascot. Absolutely.
yeah.
Instead of having the mystery machine, we have the Husky bus.
We have the Husky Bus.
It really is honorable what they're doing. I didn't even hear of it until I believe it was you that brought it up, Danielle, and then I heard some other channels speaking of it. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to Michael Dalton, aka DWAP. He was out getting a tattoo of Gannon today, or a heart and something or other. But yeah, I guess there was a bunch of other people that were doing the same thing. So much love to you,
Yeah.
Michael.
We were talking about that here in the chat. I think a lot of us plan on getting tattoos. It's a great thing, a great way to honor Gannon.
And I've already heard some people, saying some stupid stuff about that. But let me tell you, it's a cause like this. It brings people together and really lifts everybody's spirit. I think it's a good thing for all of humanity. With all the division that we have in our world right now, especially when you can't bring up religion or politics without somebody getting into a fight. Yeah, I mean, something like this is just, Gannon has touched everybody's hearts in ways I don't think people were even ready for.
Right.
No.
Right. So what do we have coming up for Tisha? She is due in court on March 11th for her arraignment.
Right. 317. She's got to deal with a little divorce.
Yes. Good night, Tambra. Thank you for being here. Yep. She's got to deal with a little divorce. And taking her out of this, Gannon is still missing. So anybody here and everybody who hears this, please remember that he is still missing. Yeah. Be aware of that. Please keep your eyes, ears open and peeled, and just be very aware. Be very aware, because El Paso County did say the other day, they'd like the public's help. I think that tip line is still open. You can still call in tips. We need to find him. We need to find Gannon. He needs to be brought home to his mom and dad. He deserves a proper send-off. He deserves a proper burial. He deserves peace, and his family deserves peace.
He deserves dignity.
Yes.
Absolutely he does. I have a feeling when they start going over charges and she starts truly realizing the amount of the amount of issues that she's going to go through, I believe she's definitely going to start trying to make a deal, or her public defender is definitely going to start getting in her ear about that. So unfortunately,
they need to. I mean, she just needs to talk. Just open your mouth and tell them where he is.
Yep.
Tell them.
She's so vain, she might just try to hold on to it until the last second, because remember, this is a big realization for her. Like, for her to finally be honest for once in her life, coming from the woman that had up to 10 aliases and has been obviously on the run between God knows how many states, doing God knows how many different things, and committing God knows how many crimes. So for her now being held to account for all of those actions, I think it's going to take a little bit of time. But I believe that once she starts standing in front of the judge that's going to overhear the murder case, all those charges, I think it's going to hit home. And I believe they're going to tell her, obviously you're probably never going to see the light of day ever again. But if you want anything to go decently for you at all, it's time to make a deal.
Right.
It would be the right thing for her to do too. I mean, absolutely. If she's going to get any kind of, she's going to make any way with any sort of jury and the general public, this would be the one thing she could do.
Right.
That's true.
Right. Hey, True Helper, I'm going to text you really quick.
Sure. And, while you're doing that, I just wanted to comment on something I heard earlier, actually, as I was in the car earlier. But, the comment that somebody had said about law enforcement and all of that, let me fill some people that may not know in on a few things. For even somebody that thinks about becoming a police officer, okay, they not only have to have usually some kind of college background, usually a bachelor's degree or some kind of active experience, being in like an ROTC program or whatnot, but usually then they have to go through 13 to 19 weeks of basic training, usually, well, academy training technically, but it is just about every bit as hard as a basic training for an Army soldier. So
Right.
and that is just the beginning of their qualifications, or what they need to do to qualify to become a police officer, and then they've got to work their tails off to get promotions and the whole 9 yards. So
And
for
they're
anybody that
constantly,
wants to desecrate or put a police officer down, let alone what they have to see on a daily basis, you know what? I implore you, see if there is any kind of program where you can do a drive along just for one day, or a ride along, excuse me, for one day, just to see just a small tiny bit of what they see in a day, which obviously they wouldn't have you on a murder scene or anything like that. But just to understand what they go through and the amount of dedication that's involved. I guarantee most of the people that are criticizing police officers wouldn't be able to hang with even a rookie cop for one day without crying their eyes off and then quitting. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Frankly, it pisses me off.
No, you know how I feel. I 100% back the blue, 100%. And I had this comment earlier. You know, a lot of people give law enforcement a bad rap, and I feel it's very unfair. It's just like giving teachers a bad rap. No matter what profession there is, there's always going to be a couple bad apples. Tisha is the perfect example. She is a teacher. She was teaching children. She was in the presence of children, and now she is charged with first-degree murder of a child that was in her care. So you can't judge law enforcement just because there might be a couple out there that just, they go down the wrong path, or they make the bad choices, or whatever. I myself in this channel 100% back law enforcement. And I also wanted to address, Musty made a comment up above that it says, I feel like she's too stupid to do this alone. I respectfully disagree with you. I understand, and I totally respect your opinion. I totally get that. There's been comments made that you can't be stupid and smart enough at the same time to pull this off. She's underestimated. Tisha is highly underestimated.
grossly underestimated.
Yes.
I'm
Because
looking-
she doesn't speak like she's smart, don't discredit how smart and calculating she is. I'm not saying that directly to Musty. I'm just saying in general, for everybody who looks at her and says, well, she talks like an idiot. That doesn't mean she's not calculated.
No.
It doesn't mean that she's not very, very premeditated in what she does throughout life, and not just with Gannon's case.
Listen, two things. Danielle and I bullet pointed a list of all the things that you could potentially utilize to say that she manipulated everybody. And till a certain point, till it caught up with her, she was one step ahead.
Yeah.
And the second point is that she is very good at this, and she's had to be, because there's a lot of things that she's dealt with in her life, and I can say this is fact, this is not speculation, that she's had to stay one step ahead and had to lie about it. So she knows how to do it. And she's gotten away with it, and she's become very confident in doing it.
Yeah. I actually wrote something about this the other day. I'll just read it. It's really short. My husky agrees. That would be Zeke, everybody. He says hi.
He gave you a whoop whoop.
He agrees with his mama. It should really just be the Huskies Dissect True Crime channel.
Sniffing out the truth.
It all boils down to deceit, hypocrisy, and wolves in sheep's clothing. We truly live in a world that sadly we don't know what to expect from people who enter our lives. And that applies to all aspects of relationships, whether it be a friend, somebody you've had an established friendship with over years, or days or months or whatever, family, spouses, step parents, that's across the board. One deceitful friend can make a person question every friend. One deceitful partner and or spouse can make a person question every future romantic relationship. Betrayal comes at like so many levels, you guys, so many. And I wholeheartedly believe there are different levels of deceit and different levels of betrayal. And Tisha is at the top of the pyramid when it comes to that. She was a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing. She was.
Mhm.
Just like Landon said, this is somebody I trusted with my
Mhm.
child. I trusted her with my child. And
She
it takes a lot as a mother to trust another human being with your child's life.
right.
So
She betrayed Al, her husband. She
mhm,
betrayed Landon, and she
mhm.
betrayed Gannon.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that was the ultimate betrayal. You looked at somebody that was supposed to care for you, and they didn't. They did the complete opposite.
Oh, here we go, CC Love. How could he vanish? Could someone have him? Well,
No.
I don't believe he's vanished. I believe he's hidden. If you listen to the most recent press conference that police have given, Gannon is presumed dead. Law enforcement, the FBI, every investigator involved believes that Gannon is dead and that he has been murdered. Hence the reason that Tisha is now charged with first-degree murder of a child under the age of 12 who was in the care of somebody of trust. She is charged with child abuse resulting in death. She is charged with tampering with a human body, a human corpse, and she is charged with tampering with evidence. Those charges do not come about if somebody is alive. Nobody has him. Nobody has this little boy. He's hidden somewhere around the area for all we know. Or, I mean, heaven forbid that she then went back and retrieved his body and drove across the U.S. with him. I have seen that happen. But no, nobody has Gannon. God has Gannon. Heaven has Gannon's spirit and soul, but his physical body is missing. So,
I'm sure she thought she was going to get away with this, so she stowed him away in a place where she probably was going to go back later, knowing that there was going to be some backlash at first, but she thought it probably was going to calm down. Well, guess what? Not quite.
Well, she had a lot of things lined up, and she had a lot of things. If this happens, this is what I'll say. If this happens, this is what I'll do. But she can't control other people's reactions, and I believe that things took a turn negatively towards her a lot sooner than she expected, if she expected it at all.
right. And it's also important to remember that charges such as first-degree murder and child abuse resulting in death and tampering with the human corpse and tampering with evidence, all of those charges are brought forth with evidence. They can't just charge her with that because they feel like that. You have to assume and realize that there would be and there is substantial evidence backing those charges.
Well, and let's just talk about just so it's clear right now. I don't mean to be pedantic, but there is something called double jeopardy, and she can only be tried for his murder one time.
Mm-hmm.
This is a one-shot deal. So if you don't think that they have enough evidence to go ahead and begin that process, they haven't shown us in any way that they've been irresponsible in this case.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, they don't want to risk double jeopardy.
No.
Absolutely. As many times as they were at that house, the crime scene technicians, they have to have something substantial. I think I counted 6 or 7 times they were there.
They sifted through snow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, Jessica, that's awesome.
And now all the silence makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously had her location pinned, and who knows? That's why I'm very curious to and anxious to see the trial get started, because I'm curious to see who she may have been speaking to and what her online chatter was about. Because it wasn't just limited to YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff, or wherever else she may have been. Who knows what she was involved in? She was on that sugar daddy stuff. So Lord knows she was probably using all of her aliases to go everywhere. Where she definitely panicking when she felt the weight of the world coming down on her. I know there's no doubt she never thought in a million years it was going to get this much attention, and that a young man like Gannon would have inspired one of the largest missing person cases in U.S. history. And it's definitely top 5. I've already been told that. I just don't know if it is. From what I understand, it has the highest amount of agencies involved at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
11-year-old little boy that she thought she was going to get away with it by.
Yeah. Danielle read the list tonight. I mean, it's extensive.
Let me count them. I can actually count them, how many agencies are involved.
I've been around a bunch of them. I've never, ever, ever heard of so many at the same time. Never.
Right.
Not one.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's inclusive of agencies involved in the search, agencies that assisted in South Carolina, National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. That's a lot of agencies.
And let's not forget the ones that weren't necessarily turned down, but were told like, hey, thank you, but we have this covered with these resources right now. I mean, there were others.
Right. There were two FBI units involved, both in Colorado and South Carolina. Not to mention the FBI crime scene unit. There's multiple agencies, 25. And I forget that woman's name that I addressed at the beginning. It blows my mind that you can question that. Carol, was that her name? Cheryl. The fact that she can can question that, honey, your private investigator you've hired, you better get a refund.
Get your money back, girl.
Get your money back.
It's one of 3 things with a person like that. It's probably 1, it is Saturday, so she's probably a little bit into the gin and juice. Who knows? 2, she's definitely off of her medication and is all wackadoodle. Or 3, she is just in fact a troll who is coming in to try to start to stir everybody up. However, yeah, I heard her getting pulled off earlier, so yeah, the backlash will be nice.
Yes.
And Cece, I remember you. Don't worry about the caps. Don't worry about that. You're cool.
Oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. You can talk in caps. Whatever works for you. Is she here legally? What do you mean, vegan goddess?
there were, remember, there were some jokes about social security numbers and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think she's here legally. I just don't think she is who she says she
I don't
is.
know. I think she's a weird little Cabbage Patch baby, to be honest. A rotten
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch
No,
baby.
I disagree. I disagree. She's a garbage pail kid.
I love those.
She ain't no
I
Adam
have some of
Bomb, but she's certainly stinky dinky, that's for sure.
those.
She got all kinds of wackadoodle going on in that head.
Yes, she does. Yes. Good night, Doodlebug. Thank you so, 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 so much for being
Good night,
here.
Doodlebug.
Yes. Good night, Doodlebug. I love you and I appreciate everything you do.
Always such a sweetheart, Doodlebug is.
Mm-hmm.
She is. She's great. Yeah, Amanda is talking about the DA. Dan May is retiring, and the new DA is actually the assistant DA right now. So he's working alongside, or I shouldn't say the new DA, the DA that is prosecuting Letitia's case
Mm-hmm.
is working alongside Dan May. He is the assistant prosecutor. Um, some are questioning, because he's the assistant and he's younger. I don't. I have faith in him. I do. He's been coached, and Dan May
Mentored. Yeah.
mentored. Dan May has been his mentored. I think it's going to turn out okay.
Hey, Lufa. You say, I'll never question you guys again. I was hoping he did run away and was alive. I want you to always question.
Yeah, we
That's
don't
what
mind
we're
being
here.
questioned. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
you should form your own opinions. You should.
Absolutely. I think, I think disagreement is a part of healthy conversation. It's just how you address
Yes.
it. It's how you talk to other people. It's how you're able, if you can have a conversation and do so respectfully, that's great. And you are never disrespectful, Lufa. So
No.
always
And
have your own opinions. Don't ever think
yeah.
that you have to agree with us. I've actually said I welcome people disagreeing with me.
Right.
I welcome it because I like to discuss things. I just don't
Right.
like being called names.
Right. And
And nobody has done that on this
right.
channel.
Yeah.
Nobody has done that.
Part of disagreement is conflict resolution, and there's a reason why resolution is part of that name. It's resolving. And so you take different ideas and theories, and then you look at the facts and you see what is plausible.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys think of things that I don't think of. When
Right.
Danielle and I talk to each other, she was saying something the other night, and I just couldn't get it. And then she said this one thing, and I was like, okay, it all makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. Yep.
It's healthy to have disagreements nowadays. Don't let most of the mainstream or a bunch of the other types tell you otherwise out there. That's why
Or
there's so
maybe
much
Right.
division right now.
or maybe debate is a better word, like
Right.
healthy debate. This is why this couldn't
Yeah.
happen. No, wait, this is why it could.
Yeah, but I
Right.
guess I mean it's okay to disagree with somebody, but for whatever reason, I've noticed since 2016, it's like if you disagree with somebody, then you're called every name under the book, and that's
Oh.
not the way that it is. Yeah, we're a civilized people. Our society we're not in the caveman days where you got to go to war
No.
over everything. Yeah,
No.
so it's okay to
Well,
disagree once in a while, and healthy debate usually, in my mind, as Amy said, and you said, can solve a lot of things.
Right.
and we're so lucky. I mean, I'm not going to start singing a Lee Greenwood song or anything, but we live in a wonderful country where we are allowed to express our opinions, and we should utilize that.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Because the minute we start censoring each other and this snowflake mentality, and you hurt my feelings in a safe place and all of that, you are laying the groundwork for not being able to say what you want to say. And I go visit another country.
Well, in the moment that you start insulting people for their opinions, you really need to look within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Exactly.
fair. It's not fair to call people dumbasses or motherfuckers because they don't like what you have to say.
And yeah.
Well, It's the truth. It's the truth.
I hope my Coco Chanel and the Lysol behind my ear mixed together.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't call people these names. Don't call them.
And above
Don't call them dumbasses or idiots or all of the above. That's cruel. When you have to take to the level of insulting another human being because their opinion is different than you need to look within yourself and see what's wrong with you.
Well, actually, it means that you're not intellectual enough to come up with a response. So you're resorting to something almost barbaric.
Right.
It sounds like the most classic of arguments. I know you are, but what am I?
Right. Right.
But I just also, and one thing on top of all that, the next time anybody out there wants to try to silence somebody else just because they have a bit of a difference of opinion, just remember all of our brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers that are laying in the ground right now that have paid for the price and the freedoms that we enjoy in this country with their lives and in blood.
Right.
So
Right.
always keep that in mind. So before you start running around calling people fascists or this or that or whatever the hell's going on out there, just remember all the people that have paid that price for the freedom that we have in this blessed country that we live in today. Because believe me, if you were over in Iran or Iraq or Africa or a lot of those places, if you were to become a little bit disobedient, that's what they call civil disobedience, and you'd be thrown in jail. There is no freedom of speech there.
There are countries where, like, if you confide in your mother about an opinion, your mother is so indoctrinated, she'll go report you to the authorities. And you will disappear.
And in many ways, they're obligated to turn their family members in if they speak against their own governments.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just be appreciative and utilize it and be respectful and grow the, up.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree.
And if you're stuck in your own mindset too, you'll never grow as a person. You will never grow as a person.
No.
If you really want to expand yourself and use this time on earth to develop your mind and be worldly or whatever, it's important to not just talk, but to also keep your ears open and your mind open.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. I just have never been at that level. I like to hear what other people say, and I could never ever insult somebody because they thought differently than I did. You can't. That's not healthy. It's not healthy.
It's not.
And Tisha did that. Tisha did that across social media, saying that she wanted us all to apologize to her. Well, Tisha,
I'm sorry
was never
you got
going
caught.
to apologize to you. Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tisha, but you sure do look right at home in those stripes. Enjoy them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tisha. Your mugshot looks like shit.
I'm sorry, Tisha. They didn't use a filter on that photo.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tisha. I think orange is a great color for you. But really, I think the turtle suit looks better because that lets us all know where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not like Donatello or what are the other ones? Michelangelo. She's like Rasputin, the Ninja Turtle, the evil Ninja Turtle.
Right. Right. What do you mean, Christy? Can this all be applied to Letitia? I have heard her called some pretty awful names, and I think she is guilty of sin. So this isn't a way to support her. Do you mean like people online calling her names or people in here? I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I have no problem with people calling her names because of what she did or what she's accused of doing. When it comes down to an 11-year-old defenseless little boy who was in the care of somebody who was supposed to love and protect him, she deserves every name that she's called. We have a duty as people, as individuals, to protect our own children and every child, and she failed him. Um, I don't really know what people have called her online. If anybody has called her names in the chat, well, I mean,
And when we
that's
were
how.
talking about name calling, we were talking about calling somebody a name because they had a difference of opinion.
Right.
It was
Right.
in that context.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely what context it was in. And that boiled down to Lufa apologizing because she didn't agree with us in the beginning. And we were just trying to tell her, it's okay that she didn't agree with us. We never attacked her for that. We listened
We
to
don't
her.
keep score.
Yeah, we don't keep score. Lufa was 100% part of almost every chat on this case.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody disrespected Lufa because that's how we do things here.
Right.
I never, ever would have attacked somebody, nor will I attack somebody in this chat for having a different opinion than me. You can come at me and say Tisha's innocent. That's fine. I'm just going to come back with a rebuttal. That's fine.
Right. I honestly, I'm sorry that my feelings were right. I didn't want to be right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last thing. I wanted Gannon to still be here and watching his Sonic movie and hanging with his little sister, and I didn't want this.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, and you guys totally have a right to. Everybody has their own opinion. If you don't want to call Tisha names, that's fine. If you want to call her names, that's on you. I don't control what comes out of your mouth or your thoughts or your narrative. I'm just watching the comments, and hey, whatever works for you. I'm not going to tell True Helper not to say what he wants to. I'm not going to tell Amy not to say what she wants to. And it's it's none of our place to tell another person what they are to say and not to say.
Or you can't tell somebody how they feel.
Right.
You can't tell somebody how to think. And I myself, I'm not here to parent you or patrol you or anything like that. You think what you want. Just be prepared to back it up.
Right.
You know? And I don't mean that in a confrontational way at all. I mean it in like, I want to hear. A lot of times when I see comments, I'll say like, oh, that's interesting. Why would you say that? And it's not, I am challenging you, but in a good way, because I want to know.
Right. And I think a lot of times when people say, I mean, people call criminals names all the time. And I think that comes from a place of hurt and anger because there's a victim. There's a victim out there. And in this case, there's an 11-year-old victim.
Right. And I will tell you, it's not necessarily name calling, so to speak. It's done in a different way, but a lot of times, we don't want to say a perpetrator's or a potential perpetrator's name over and over and over again, because there are so many cases where we remember I can't think of another word. We remember the perpetrator and we don't remember the victim. Okay. And so you will see, and like Nancy Grace she's like one of the examples. She will name people. You have
Top Mom.
Yeah. And you have, she has a million of them. And if that makes you easier for you to deal with, if you want to call her T-Vol or whatever it is, it is what it is.
And everything that you just said is a very good example of the difference between a good channel and a bad channel. For example, I was bouncing around last night between a few channels, and I was actually hearing the hosts of said channels calling their own live streamers or their own chat or subs that were in the live streams, names, dumbasses and know-it-alls, and and I was just like, I won't say I was beside myself, but I just didn't know how channels, I guess once they get to a certain level, they just don't give a crap anymore, or is it just like that for start, because usually I just don't even waste my time in something like that. But I get enough recommendations where I'll go and check it out. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But then you come to a channel like Real Masker Talk, and it's very rare that we even I see a troll in here. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good example. But people also got to remember, it's not always easy also for so many people to come together in the same place that are so emotionally upset over what's taking place and not expect some names to be called. And I agree with you, Amy, 100%. It's too many times the killers' names are often remembered and their victims are sadly forgot.
Right.
Just
And on
doesn't
this
sit.
channel, we will say Gannon, 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 Gannon over and over again. I would rather not say Tisha's name. I hate saying it. I hate it.
Right. Right.
So,
Well, I not necessarily in Gannon's case, but in other cases that I've looked at, sometimes I get less search results when I look for the victim's name than when I do for the perpetrator's name. And that to me is very, very sad.
It is. It is. It's, Gannon is who matters in this case. And unfortunately, we have to speak about the alleged perpetrator in his case. That's the name of the game. I hate it. Darwin, sorry, your comment, I have to remove it because we don't do that here. No offense, okay? But unfortunately, we're going to have to speak about her. But in doing so, we are going to keep Gannon's name in there. I will say his name as many times as I can on it, and not on, like his name just comes out of my mouth, but I will make sure that his name is not forgotten and that it is said. That's why all of my videos, very few, there might be one or two that have her name on them. All of my videos have his name on them because that's who I want to be remembered, not her. At the end of the day, somebody made a great comment in our Facebook group today. Let me find it. You guys can chat while I find it. And I won't say their name on here because they're in a Facebook group and I don't want to, put their name on YouTube without their permission. But this was a great way of looking at it. It said, what's a lovely thought? In a year or so, when she is sentenced and shoved in a cell 23 hours a day, attempting to sleep at night on a thin mattress with an itchy blanket, with doors banging, chains clanging, and prisoners shouting all night, with zero privacy, eating her canteen meals off a tray, arguing with other criminals over this part's funny, over a 2-year-old copy of People magazine, and generally living a pitiful life, she will be forgotten, left to rot in the system. In a few years, nobody will remember her. She'll just be another prison number. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. Because Gannon will be remembered. Me too. Gannon will be remembered.
And that's where I think I'm a little bit different than a lot of the mainstream is. And it's probably a good thing that I don't run this country, because I definitely believe in an eye for an eye. I just do. And I'll stress, not in a sick or twisted way or whatnot, but, I think it's highly unfair, especially when children, something like this happens to a child, and then the parents and the families and all that are left behind to mourn for the rest of their days. And then there's a scumbag killer avoiding 3 square a day, laid up, watching cable television, having partial internet access and all that good stuff for the rest of their days on our dime. To me, it's like a kick in the face. And I've always been, against that. And I feel it's wrong. And I think it's an embarrassment to the judicial system. I think I agree with I won't say the Wild West days, but I know darn well if somebody had done anything like this to a child back in the day, they would have strung a noose up so quick, it would have blew everybody's hair back, and that would have been that. But unfortunately, I get where, everybody has their rights, of course, and everybody has the right to a trial. However, I just don't believe it. Once they're found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, I
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I think it's pretty clear what I believe. That might be a touchy subject, but that's just my personal feeling.
No, I get you. You're not going full blown Hammurabi's code, but and everybody has different opinions. It's God, Ann Mata, I love your comment that
I just put it up. Yes, Ann Mata said one burnt carpet video, 2 video where Gannon is saying bye, 3 when she was more worried about her apology than her missing child. Outside of murder, presumed innocent right now. That's why I call her out of her name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great comment, Ann Mata.
Yeah, it's In fact, usually, hold on, rats.
I'm with you, Becca. Once there's justice, I hope to never hear her name again. Unfortunately, I'm sure we're probably going to see a lot of TV specials on this.
We give these out for bitches be bitches, but tonight you get it, Anne.
Bitches be bitches was the best comment I have ever seen, especially because it came from Joan, and that was just hilarious.
Oh my God, between that and your emojis, oh Lord,
it's priceless.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You know what, sweet crazy? I still have my blue lights up, and I don't think I'll ever take them down. There's one in my living room. There's one outside my house. And when people ask me why I have a blue light outside, I very proudly tell them because I want them to know about his case. I want there to be awareness because I do class notes. I do plan on doing whatever I can to bring awareness to Gannon's case. Like I said, with the White House petitions and some very serious flaws that I've noticed across the system in general when it came to Gannon's case. We have to protect children. We do. Not just our own. We have a duty as adults to protect every child.
Right. And sweet crazy, you're right. Don't take them down because he isn't home yet.
Yeah.
He isn't.
Yeah. I don't know that I'll ever take mine down. It's kind of like it's emotional for me. It's emotional. I put those lights in to be part of the force of people who were trying to guide Gannon home with the blue light.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very symbolic gesture.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was a way for people to unite, people that don't know each other. You drive down the street and you see other people that have them and you just know.
Right.
And if I ever see a pink light, man, I'll take my BB gun and shoot it out.
Right. That's another thing that she did, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks ago, she had these support groups. And instead of them wanting blue lights for Gannon, they were encouraging people to put flipping pink lights outside their house.
For Tisha.
For Tisha. How
was Tisha lost? Was Tisha missing? Was she lost?
Right. A 37-year-old woman. Yeah. No, you need to support an 11-year-old child, not a 37-year-old woman. Get out of here. That gets me fired up.
I know when you say get out of here, I know. I just know. Get out of here.
Yeah. It seems to happen in every case.
I usually say get the
out of here.
What you talking about, Willis? No. Casey, me too. The pink lights we're talking about were specifically in a Facebook support group for Letitia. They were asking people to put up pink lights to basically they turned it into some weird taking sides, like blue lights for Gannon, pink lights for Tisha. And I didn't know that they were opposing teams. I would have thought that Letitia would have wanted to find him and turned on her blue light too.
Yes, Debbie, absolutely. The old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It does. It does. It's, if I see a child who needs help, I'm going to stop and help them. I think that's just our duty. That's what we're here to do as good human beings. These children are our next generation. So you have to do right by them. You have to protect them. You have to advocate for them. And when you see things that have happened, such as the things that have happened in Gannon's case, you have to stand up for what's right. Even if that means pissing people off, even if that means losing friendships, even if that means making people never speak to you again, at least you're doing the right thing. And that's all that matters.
Amen.
Yeah, the Harley Dilly case is just a really sad case of,
Aww.
It's sad. It's sad.
Hurricane Holly says we shouldn't call them T-shirts. We should call them G-shirts.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I love that.
So do I. So do I. That is perfect. That is perfect. I gotta find your comment up here.
That's super cute. Glowing number.
So, is there anything else? Yes, they do need to be able to grow and live a full life, and it's just sad. I don't, all these cases, every case I cover, really, I truly invest my heart in the Massacre Talk team. I mean, we literally 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, this is what we do. There's always one of us talking or, looking for information, researching, finding information. But I think this one, just hearing my little boy say, I'm praying for you, Gannon, or my little boy coming home and saying last Monday, this past Monday, when they did the press conference and Nolan came home from school, I was crying. Obviously, you all heard me crying that day on air. I'm sorry. He was like, Mom, why do step parents hurt children? Why would she do that? Is it his dad gave him more attention than what his dad gave his wife? Was she jealous? Because she shouldn't be jealous, because his dad should give him more attention. It just made me so sad. So sad.
Yeah.
My 11-year-old's little mind trying to figure out why.
Well, you should be proud that he's so wise too.
Yeah, oh, I'm very proud, and we're gonna go see Sonic. Hopefully one night this week in honor of Gannon, because it's still at the theaters here. We're gonna go see Sonic, and I don't know if I can watch it without crying. Just because I know the meaning behind it,
Yeah. Yeah.
What? A woman in Texas beheaded her little girl? Oh my gosh, Dad, what? Have you guys heard of the case of the mom who put her baby in the oven?
Yes.
Oh.
See, that's why. Yeah. I can't.
I feel like people, it's like we're to the point in this world that people need to have a mental health clearing before they are allowed to have children. Something needs to be done, because there's too much of this going on all over the place. What's the name of that case, Des? Amy, I'm going to mute you until you... Are you still there, True Helper?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
I was going to say earlier, I've been seeing more and more of this myself in the past 10 years, and I know our access to technology and all the social media platforms and all the media outlets out there really put a light to all these types of cases. But just for some reason or other, it just seems to me like the just the level of cruelty towards some of these children is just getting so far out of control, and it's like some of these people don't even think twice about it. And I get how people that are sociopaths and psychopaths live a certain way, and they see the world totally different than we do. But it can be it's very scary. You just never know. You can live next to somebody your whole life and never know what they're up to until something bad happens.
Have you ever thought? Have you ever thought about it this way? Sometimes I wonder, especially with some of these mothers, nobody has perfect children. Nobody's a perfect parent. And maybe you need to like stop comparing yourselves to others, or know that most people don't air their dirty laundry on Facebook, and it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to feel like a failure some days. But it's okay to feel like you're losing your mind when your baby is screaming its head off all day long.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Those are all normal feelings, and reach out to somebody. And as a community, look at people that are around you with children, and instead of shunning them in a grocery store for their child misbehaving, smile at them. I mean, really, I'm not trying to be totally touchy-feely here, but
Oh,
there's
I
a lot
agree.
of pressure in being a parent.
I agree with you. And I think somewhere in all of that, I think there are examples more and more of a lot of parents not actually doing the parenting that they should. They buy these video games and this and that and the other. And if, it's like my mom used to say, if a parent doesn't at least spend half of their time with their children, or at least trying to make an effort at it, then they're not being parents. And a lot of these parents, I've seen some of them nowadays, not all of them, but I've seen, a good fair share of them. Some of them have to work 2 and 3 jobs, and I get that too. But there are some that I also know that say are on welfare programs or whatever else, and they're at home all day, every day, and yet they still, they'd rather put their kids in front of some of these PlayStations and stuff like that. And then they
Or
wonder
how,
why,
yeah.
they start getting all angry at them, and then they don't know how to associate or socialize with them when it's time to, hey, mom, let's go out and do something, or hey, dad, let's go out and do something. Oh, well, what do you want to do?
Right.
They're almost forgetting what the traditional family unit used to be all about. I
Or
know most
how
of us
about
can remember.
realizing the moment you have a child, it's not about you anymore?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have something that's you have a human that's completely dependent upon you, and your job now is to raise them to be independent, not watching soap operas all day, or wanting to go hang out with your friends, or like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to touch base on? True Helper, check your text messages, please.
Sure thing.
Sorry, not bossing you around. totally sounded bossy.
You sound like me.
It's all
Yeah.
right.
I don't mean to. I don't mean to be bossy.
You sound like me.
Believe me,
Luke.
if you think that was bossy, you should hear some of my associates. They'd make your head spin.
I'm always saying to her, when I get intense, I don't mean to sound bossy. I don't.
Lufa, you miss hearing Mama 50 times a day. My boys are growing up, and I'm at this weird stage in life, you guys. Like, my 16-year-old does his own thing. My 11-year-old's like doing his own thing. He needs me a little bit more, but I'll say to my kids, "Can you please just call me Mama? Just say it one time, because I miss those days too. I do."
Oh, we still call my mom mommy.
Yeah.
We do.
My 16-year-old, he crawled in my lap the other night and let me hold him like a baby, and it made my night. He's about 215 pounds, 5'9".
Oh,
Um, and he let me hold him.
okay.
All right, let's not talk about
Yeah. Yeah.
pro-life or politics or any of that stuff right
Yeah.
now, guys. Thank you. I do the same too, Lufa. I always say that. You can call me Mama. Aw.
Oh. Oh, vegan goddess. My doggies were my babies too.
Isn't that amazing about dogs?
Yes.
Their love is unconditional.
And they never
They
grow
love,
out of you.
they don't, and they never grow out of you, like Vegan Goddess said. They never grow out of you. So, true helper, you got my text, I'm sure. Are you okay with that?
Yes, I did. Sorry, I was trying to make some adjustments on my phone.
You're okay.
Oh.
So,
Casey, me too. I can relate to some of that. That can be very frustrating. It takes a special person. I'm sure you're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah. I think we all doubt ourselves as parents, and
We do.
uh,
In everything that we do.
trying to figure out how.
Good night, Ann Mata.
Good
When
night,
you,
Aunt Mata.
yep. And when you come back, the blue light will still be on. Always be on
Yeah.
here.
Yes, it will.
Trina, I believe the next court date is March 11th.
Oh,
Is that
Christina, you're listening. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Christina?
She's filling me in on this monster who decapitated her daughter.
Oh.
What the hell?
I
Oh,
remember the scariest story I ever heard on the news, and I didn't even research it because I was just so freaked out about it. Do you guys remember there was a guy on a Greyhound bus who decapitated a passenger in front of him?
mm-hmm.
That was like, ugh, God. I don't know. I'd probably still rather be on the bus with him than on an airplane with Letitia, though. Yuck.
Oh, what did I just do? Never mind. So,
sure, I can read that.
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
So,
it just
glowing ember.
for some reason it came through a bit chopped up at first, so I had to. I don't know why my phone was acting up, but it's all
Oh,
good.
okay. Um, Amy, are you highlighting comments by chance or no?
No,
How in
no.
the world is that happening?
I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how. Not that I don't want your guys' comments up there. I'm just trying to clear the screen at the moment, and they keep.
Oh, Irish. I never heard of that. Oh,
Oh, that's horrible, Iris. You're gonna have to send us the
yeah.
details on that. Who? How does this happen? Literally, how does comments keep getting highlighted? Because I want the screen cleared.
I'm not touching
Okay.
anything.
No. I don't think you guys are doing it. I think my computer's maybe glitching. So, glowing ember, your wish is gonna come true tonight. True Helper is going to read what one of our Real Massacre Talk team members wrote in honor of Gannon, and we are gonna cut this live off in just a couple minutes. If you guys want to light the chat up blue for G-Man and remember him and hope and pray that he is brought home for his family so they are able to lay him to rest. Proper burial. Whenever you are ready, True Helper, the floor is yours.
Sure. It's been a while since I've actually read something. I was proofreading it a little bit. All right. This was from a member of. Is that right? That was from a member of your team's sister wrote this.
Yeah, this is a family member of our team's sister wrote this, and this is Real Massacre Talks homage, if you will, to Gannon.
Yeah.
Something that we are going to use throughout his case to remember him by.
Okay. G-Man. As I tuck my children in for the night, they beg me for a story to be read. As I look through the hundreds they have heard before, I said, how about I tell you one instead? You've heard of witches and toads and princesses and knights, but this is a different story, one you haven't heard before tonight. This is a story of a hero, one just about your age. My son's eyes widen with a smile on his face. It's the story of G-Man who dreamed of flying and protecting the ones he loved and the joy he brought. Since the day he was born, his parents knew. I'm sorry, I lost my place there. Dang it. Since the day he was born, his parents knew he was special because even at his birth, he was stronger than Superman, defying so many odds. I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up here reading this. Wow.
You're doing great.
Sorry, Ed.
You're doing
I
great.
knew I was going to get choked up as I was reading this. I lost my place there. Danielle did this to me the other day on the phone as well.
You're doing great. Just
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
you've got this.
All right. Where should I pick up at? Okay, let me see here.
You got this. You're okay.
Right after Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. His smile was brighter than Iron Man's suit, and his sidekick against crime, you ask, was Sonic, of course. His biggest fans were his family, his mom, dad, and sisters from day one. But you see, this hero did what no one other has done. There is always a villain, and this story is no different. You see, the villain of the story wanted to take away his powers, take him away, leaving no trail to follow. But like no hero before him, when it came to this mission, he defeated the villain and brought together a whole nation. People around the world knew his name, his face, and heroic act. And the world's newest, bravest superhero was known as G-Man, and that's a fact. He continued his missions even when he cannot be seen. But he will forever be remembered when we speak his name and tell you of his legacy. Hashtag Gannon Strong.
Oh, thank you for reading that.
You did
Thank
an
you.
amazing job.
Absolutely. And this is all for Gannon. All for Gannon.
You definitely got me on that one, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's
He would have loved that story.
Emotions had me all over the place. I was reading like haiku at first and then went to
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We're actually going to have this written up with a picture of Gannon and probably copyrighted because
Right.
we want it to be
Preserve.
preserved, and it's an homage
Hmm.
to
Mm.
Gannon. It is our homage that, and I'm honored that you read it for him tonight. And
Yeah.
Christina's down there in the comments, and I know she blew you some love and hugs, and I know she's honored that you read it, and I know Joe's honored that you read it, and Amy is, and everybody at the Real Massacre Talk team. Thank you for reading that.
And you know what, Danielle, it's extra special too because it's not just the people on your team and the people in your chat that sit here and carry all this emotion and all this attachment. You know, we talk to our spouses, we talk to our siblings, we talk to our parents about this. And that somebody took the time to do that is just amazing. And I find comfort in it. I do. So to that person, thank you.
I know I felt bad earlier tonight. I had to drop a bombshell on my queen because she didn't even know about it, and I forgot to even I don't know what I don't know what I was thinking, but when she had asked me about the case and then I told her, she was just shocked. She was just standing there, and oh boy, between anger and tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's from a woman, and I don't ever really put this out there, but my little lady and I were both survivors, and we both in these past decade or so have gone through beating the big cancer monster. So when she heard about that and see her cry like she did, that's saying something. And,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
but
So guys, thank you so much for lighting that chat up. Keep lighting it up blue for Gannon. We are going to sign off of here. I think we've said all we can say for tonight, but we will be back. And we are going to cover this case to the very end. We do have some other cases coming up. I do plan on covering the Evelyn Boswell case. I just have to do my research and all of the above. And I want to thank you all for being here. It means the world to me. It really does. Not for myself, but for Gannon and for all the victims that we come on here to bring awareness and keep their names out there. It truly means the world to see hundreds and thousands of people watching our lives. And for anybody who's going to watch the replay, I am grateful because when you do that, you bring awareness to their names. You keep the victims' names out there, and it's so, so important. I just want to thank all of the mods down in the channel, everybody on the Real Massacre Talk team, Christina, Joe, Amy, True Helper, Irish. Shannon's not here tonight, but I love her, and I'm thankful for her. Doodlebug went to bed, but definitely grateful for her. Manda, Mignana's not here tonight. Thank you to Summer and everybody down in the chat and all of the super chatters. You guys are so, so, so kind and generous. With that said, I love you all. Good night to everybody. Good night, True Helper. Good night, Amy. And Gannon Strong, don't forget to get your t-shirt orders then, guys. The deadline is like quickly approaching if you want to order a t-shirt. Aw, Phony. Oh, you're cute. You're cute. Of course. Somebody would have to come in with that at the end.
Well, I hope that makes you feel good. Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that your life is so sad that you have to do things like that, but I hope it gets better for you. I do. This is probably not the way to make it better, but I hope that for you. I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not being phony when I say it.
Yep. May you find peace so that you don't have to.
Even musty. Yes.
Yes, even musty. I hope the person above finds peace so that they don't have to put nasty comments on a live chat about an 11-year-old little boy who is missing. With that said, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Mama.